Hello, everybody. It's me, Melody. Welcome to my stream. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Also, subscribe if you're new and share to all of your platforms. So, today we have a very good show. You guys know about all this no vote and no vucking thing that Trina and the LGBT community came up with. And I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And I'm sure you guys agree with me. But I thought to myself, why not stop vucking these women altogether? These women are not worth your penis. I'm just being honest. These women are not worth your penis. Most of these women are violent, they're rude, they're overweight, they their hair is a mess. They come outside looking crazy. They're not worth your penis at all. So yeah, it's best just not to fuck any of them. How about that? I mean, the only women anybody should be fucking are women who are beautiful, feminine, submissive, and worth fucking, right? But yeah, just leave them alone. And I do commend the passport bros because they're like, I'm tired of this. Peace. They were the first ones to leave these women. Because honestly, if I was a man or if I was a lesbian, I would not be fucking any of these women at all. Not worth it. Not worth my time. Shouldn't be worth your time. So, before we get started, I'm gonna read the chat, say hello to my early people who came in. All right, so we have Rashad Lewis. He says, hit the like button now. Definitely hit the like button on the way in. We got to get me back into this algorithm, so make sure you guys hit that like button. That's the first thing I want you guys to do before we get this show started is definitely hit the like button and support your girl. Support me. Hi, Lando. Carison, welcome. He says, salute, sweet melody media. Salute to you. And we got Gold Professor in the building. He says, like button pressed. What's happening, family? Hey, Melody. Hi. Oh, wow. And the first super chat of the day. Thanks again, Gold Professor, for the $5 super chat. He says, money for the plate, Gold Professor. I appreciate your support. As usual, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we have Revolving Potato. He says, if you're reading this, hit the like. And if you can't read, hit the like. I appreciate that. Thank you, Revolving Potato. Oh, we got Bullets. Hi, Bullets. Long time. Bullets Gotti Show 2.0. He gives me a bunch of hugs. Back to you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hugs and kisses. I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. Salute to you. Killer Swag. What's going on? Hey. We got Eugene still. Hi, Eugene. Welcome to the show. Rashad Lewis with the hand claps. Oh yeah, we about to give you a real good show today. I have Game Changer coming because you know he got a lot to say about this. And then I will drop the link because we're gonna have an open panel / chill stream where we catch up on things because I've been gone for a while. I just did a show Tuesday, but you know, we gotta still catch up on things. So yeah, make sure you guys come on the panel for that. Uh oh, salute Game Changer. Got Game Changer in here. Eisen, salute to you. He says, y'all can't stop colored women's. Wait, y'all can't stop colored women's are selling you deception. Poon. What? Oh, the step. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Decepticon. Decepticon. I don't know why I said deception. Decepticon poon. Yes, they are. Definitely. Y'all need to leave that poon poon alone. It is not worth it, fellas. It's really not. And I don't care what the nationality is. It can be black, white, Asian. If they're Americanized and they fat and they nasty, don't give them the pee pee. It's not worth. It's not worth your time. But hi GC, welcome. You there?
Yeah, I had the mute button on. I was saying what's up to Eugene in the chat room. But yeah, I wanted to respond to Eisen. See, Eisen, here's what's worse. They're not actually selling you Deception Poon because they're not saying if you vote, you will get some of this Poon. They're saying
Mm-hmm.
that if you don't vote, you won't get any of it. And
Wow.
a man's butt. Like you don't get either, you know. It's awful what they're saying. They're selling an absolute negative. And it's funny because this really brings a lot of things into perspective, that commercial. As far as because I always used to ask myself, what do they want from the men that they don't want?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that if there's a group of guys that they're not particularly interested in, and these guys were to go to Chile, let's just say that, right? They were to go to another country. What does it matter to them if they're not interested? But now I realize that they want to keep these guys around so they can sell them. Not deception poon, but so that they can continue to sell them on the possibility of sex or scare them with the impossibility of sex. It's pretty twisted, Eisen.
Mm-hmm. It's very twisted, but it's like these women are trying to control you. Like they're like, oh, it's our vagina or no vagina. But
Exactly.
right?
And it's apparent what they're going to do with that control. They're going to leverage you and make you do stuff that you might not necessarily want to do.
Exactly. Now let me ask you this, GC. Do these women want men to vote Democrat or they just want them to vote, period?
Well, the when I was looking at the commercial or video or whatnot, the people had blue shirts on, so I'm assuming that it's like a Democratic subtext to it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, exactly. Because we all know that the Democratic Party leans towards Black women and the Jihad community.
Exactly. So yeah, it is subtly implied that you know to promote voting Democrat, but they don't want to say, unless you vote Democrat, be more specific. Like, because basically they don't want to appear as if they're exchanging pussy and badootie over for votes.
Exactly. And okay, another thing I find interesting is that they are combining Black women and trans transgender. I don't know if I can say that, but they're combining
Well,
Black women
yeah,
and transgender.
people or alphabet people, but I don't really know what he is. I think that just might be a Nagaga with nails, with his nails done.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be a transgender woman. I'm not sure what it is. But it's like just like with that when that one was on Fox Soul with Cynthia G. Did you see that recently?
Oh yeah, I seen a piece of it on Bernard's. I didn't really watch the whole interview or argument, but I do realize. Well, this is what I realized is that they they don't really like each other as far as L Gibbets and Sisterhood Black Women. They don't
Hmm.
really like each other, but they will unite if it means controlling Black men. And that's what this Vucking is. It's a method of control, you know.
Right. It's a method of control, and Black women been controlling men long enough, and that's the problem. And isn't aren't isn't our community the only community who do that? Like other races of people, the women don't control nothing. The men control everything.
No, I wouldn't say that. I will say that that all women abstain in order to get something that they want. Typically, that's something. Well, okay. Here's the thing: all women do it, but they typically do it with men that they're already bucking.
Mm,
Like a wife who wants to try to get her husband to stop gambling the child's college tuition away. So she stops bucking,
right.
but never in any other community that I'm aware of do they say, okay, the women who you already are not bucking is threatening to not buck you. It's like that's a
Right.
ridiculous threat.
Exactly.
That,
So,
that that's like Jeff Bezos threatening to not give me money if I don't vote Republican.
right. Are you
Yeah,
gonna give me money if
yeah,
I do?
exactly.
Like what?
Exactly. Like Mark Zuckerberg said, "Hey, listen, if you don't vote this way, I'm not going to give you any money." Like that's essentially what's going on. Now, there have been instances where companies say if you do not do this, I will stop giving you money, meaning you're fired.
Right.
But what they're
So,
proposing is just ridiculous.
so if they would have said, "Hey, if you guys don't vote, we're gonna black women just stop giving them vagina altogether," would that make more sense? If they
What
would
is
have worded it, if they would have worded it that way, I know the whole thing is crazy, no matter how you put it. But I mean, if they would have worded it differently, like, "Oh, no, we're gonna stop fucking you if you don't vote," would that have made more sense to you?
Yeah, it would. Like, I mean, the threat you can't threaten absence of sex when you're not sexing somebody. Like, that's something that people's girlfriends and wives do. Now, I don't feel that a girlfriend or wife should ever do that, but I understand that in all communities they do that from time to time. This
Right,
is this is something like completely different. I mean, this is would be the equivalent to a stranger on the street saying something like that. Say you're walking down the street and you're eating a Jolly Rancher candy. And then, a chick say, "Hey, if you don't give me that Jolly Rancher candy right now, I'm not gonna fuck you."
what?
Like, so are you telling me that if I give it to you, you're gonna buck me? No, no, no. I didn't say that. I said if you don't give it to me, I'm not going to. It's like, well, I'm gonna eat my candy
Right,
because you didn't say that you would buck me if I gave it to you.
right. It would be so different if they said that, "Hey, look, we'll fuck you."
Yeah,
But if yeah, that'll be so different. But they're like, "Listen, we're not fucking you anyway. So you vote or that's it. That's the only option you have. Vote."
yeah,
That's pretty much what they're saying.
yeah. So it's a very weird dynamic. Now, as far as your title goes, listen, I'm not against bucking an attractive woman, especially if she's not using it as some type of weird carrot to get you to jump through hoops. Um,
Right.
however, I just require that she be physically attractive. Sex is a physical thing, and it's a physical requirement in order to get it from me. So that's pretty much it. I don't believe in abstaining from a woman simply because for her non-physical attributes.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, stop fucking them anyway. If they're ugly, if they're overweight, if
Yeah,
they're violent, just stop fucking them.
yeah,
As a black man, you guys have options, and I learned that a lot from this space. Like, you don't need to stay here and fuck us. You can go fuck anybody in any country. You can go to Brazil and fuck. You can go to Colombia and fuck. Dominican and fuck. You
mhm.
don't have to stay here.
No, we don't, and it's unfortunate for them that black men are slowly starting to realize that. They're slowly starting to realize that they do not have the monopoly. And see, here's the dilemma that black women have, and here's the problem, and this is why they're so irate. you listen to the Cynthia G's of the world and stuff like that, and you can tell how irate they are. And that is because they're losing their sexual monopoly, is what they're doing.
Mhm.
Basically, what they were doing was they were offering sex as a collective. In fact, that's what this commercial represents. They're speaking for all the women to all the men. Like, this is what we're going to do with our collective vagina. Apparently, black women have one big vagina and it's all inclusive. Like, the attractive women have the same vagina as the unattractive women, and so on and so forth. They have this one big gaping vagina, and they collectively decide who to give it to. If one year they decide to give it to Pookie, and the next year they decide to give it to Ernest, the educated lame, or something like that, they do so as a collective, which is bad for them, especially when the most attractive ones, and this is what I notice, aren't in the collective. The more attractive ones, like, because, okay, put it like this: if you were to rate women 1 to 10, right,
Mhm.
and and then you have all the ones, twos, everything from 1 to 10 are in this collective, and they say, okay, we are going to give out this median 5 pussy to everybody, and we're going to market it as a 5. We're all the same. A 9 is not going to say, no, I'm not going to market my pussy like it's a 5. So she's going to leave the collective, bringing down the average for the rest of them. And that's what's going on. Kelly Stamps is not putting her pussy into this collective pot of fat chicks.
Mm-mm.
She's not. Like Chloe Bailey, they're not putting their pot into this collective. They're not putting their pussy into this pot of fat chicks. It's not in their benefits to do so. So really, they just got like a pot full of crappy women, and then
Mhm.
they try to market it because, hey, it may be crap, but at least it's big, is essentially what they're saying. And unfortunately, that's not enough.
It's not. And what beautiful women need to do, sevens, eights, nines, and tens, they need to separate themselves from these other women. Like, they need to say, hey, look, I'm better than this. They need to kind of be like, yo, you guys need to lose weight, and men stop messing with them. Like, we all need to be on the same page. And our
It's
problem is that we're not, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so somebody, Mills with a Z, says something interesting. It says, it's some nice fat BBWs, that's redundant, out here that's not sloppy. It don't matter. See, here's the problem with that statement. Being fat is sloppy. There isn't a not sloppy fat.
Hmm.
What they're fat, but they iron their shirt. What they're fat, but they're nice. So is Santa Claus. It's not a bunch of women looking to blow him off. Like, you can't. Ah, Jesus.
I
Being
think what he mean, I think he mean like the flat stomach and the big butt and the big breast. Is that what you mean, Mills? Trying to clean you up a little bit, cause that don't sound right. I hope that's what he means.
No, you don't call that fat. You
That's
call that like
thick.
thick, or yeah, something like that. You don't call that fat. No, if they're fat, they're sloppy. That's what fat is. Fat is sloppy.
Hmm.
Like this whole "I carry it well," or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No, that's just something that they say to market fat to people.
Exactly. And Leo said fat 304s get fucked every day.
Yes, yes, I know. Not by me, but yes, I do understand that it is easy for them to get peni. I do understand that. I mean, listen, fellas, if you really are in a drought and you have to do something like that, at least make them do something. You must remind them that they are fat. See, here's the thing. I was actually looking for a fat chick to do something for me this morning. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm on keto. And what I have to do as a result of it is I blow into this meter every morning to determine if I can or should eat carbs today. And fortunately for me, I did. I did. Today was a day that I could treat myself to a bowl of cereal or maybe even two. And I did. Went to the store and got me some cereal. And I was just thinking, God, I wish I could have Raisin Bran raisins inside Frosted Flakes. So you
Mm,
know what I did in that grocery store, Melody?
what's
I
that?
started looking around for a fat chick to pick out the Raisin Bran raisins.
No.
Yeah. Because that is what you have to do when you're fat. That is what a fat woman should have to do in order to get the possibility of access to my penis.
Mm,
And while doing it, she should realize that she wouldn't have to do this if she wasn't fat. That is how that works.
yeah. I mean, if you fat, you gotta be a maid or something. You gotta clean my house. You gotta cook my meals. I mean, you can't just have pretty girl privilege when you're fat. I don't
No,
care
no,
how
no,
pretty
no
your
fat
face.
women can cook my meals. Fat women, you got to pull the weeds out the backyard and rake it because it's fall because autumn is starting and I'm getting a bunch of leaves from the neighbor's tree that hang over. It's a big ass palm tree leaf right there. I got That's fat women work.
Yeah, it's like the fat women, put them out in the field. Pretty girls, you stay in the house, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you could come in the house to take the raisin bran raisins out of frosted flakes and then mix them together so I can have raisin flakes. But that's what you have to do.
Yeah, fat women definitely got to work harder. And I also want to talk about the discussion we had on my last panel, where I forgot who said it, but they said when you're fat, the sex is better because they try harder and all that other crazy stuff.
If they tried
I
harder, they wouldn't be fat. If they tried harder in any aspect, how is the sex going to be better? They can't. You get a nice and shapely woman like Kelly Stamps. She's like like one of those stick figures that you make out of pipe cleaners and stuff like that. You could bend her, twist her, and stuff all kind of ways. You could flip her, float her, all kinds of stuff. You know,
Mhm.
because her legs and everything been that way, and her arms and stuff been that way, and she could like touch her shoulder blades and stuff with her nails. She could do all kind of stuff. She could do more because she's better at being a woman. No, no, they can't. How can it possibly be better? They're fat.
Well, he said, they want to please their man more because they don't have the looks. They're not all that beautiful. And
What
they
the
know,
hell is that?
they say
What
that
the
they,
hell is that? So you're telling me by this logic, beautiful women are withholding pussy.
well,
Like
that's what they say.
they're willing to fuck somebody, or they're willing to have sex, they're willing to fuck somebody, but they make it deliberately bad because they're pretty. They're saying like, you know something, I'm a 9, therefore I am not going to make this good. Like I want to give him bad sex because I am an attractive woman. That mindset, as far as Mel, you're a woman, does that mindset exist? Do you just say to yourself, you know something, I don't have to do as much?
No, I don't. And that's the crazy part. And this is how men think, though. This is how men look at pretty girls. They think, oh, because she's pretty, she don't want to mess up her hair during sex, or she don't want to mess her nails up, so she's not going to go as hard as a fat chick. They say a fat chick give the sloppy toppy. They say the fat chick throw it back, and they vuck harder. And I don't understand that logic. But you saw on my last panel, this is how some men think. They think that bigger girls do it better. But
Well,
you as a man, is that true?
I haven't been with bigger girls. I will say that I have been with not so pretty girls, and I haven't noticed a difference in sexual performance or enthusiasm. I will say that. I haven't noticed a difference in sexual performance and enthusiasm between pretty girls and not so pretty girls.
Right.
Now, what I did notice is that pretty girls tend to want to secure a commitment. Not saying that they won't buck on the first date, but I will say that they won't that. they look to assure that the chemistry is there more. But outside of that, nah.
Right. So I don't know where that logic come from.
BBWs are not flexible. No, Clado is not the same as like wire cleaners and stuff like that. They're not bendy. They're that's not flexible when you're a lump of clay. That's moldable. You mold it into something. They can't even flex their legs open. Their thighs perpetually touch. Their thighs perpetually touch each other, and sometimes thigh sweat get into their vagina. I suspect. I suspect that that's what's going on.
Yeah, it's
Stop
in
trying
the
to
sweat.
advertise fat JJ. Stop trying to. Why not just say it's more gushy? Y'all just making stuff. Why would it gush more? Why would it gush more? Do you think that God just put like a touch of honey and fat JJ? No. You want to know what it is? Y'all are looking for excuses. Y'all are looking for excuses to justify that you're fucking these fat chicks. But you don't
Mhm.
have to do that. You could just say something. You could just say that, yeah, I'm fucking a fatty, but at least she put raisin bran raisins into my frosted flakes, or at least she tars the roof, or at least she's the HVAC HVAC person. You could say that. I just had to hire an HVAC person. So you can say stuff like that. And maybe it'll make a little bit of sense, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. Mills, why don't you just say that you are a chubby chaser? Because you like fat BBWs give great top.
I'll
And
be back.
that's
I gotta do something. I'll be back. 2 minutes.
okay. Okay. Yeah, so fat BBWs give great top. I've heard that so many times, and it might be true because a fat girl is working harder to keep him because she know that he has options and he can go out and get a better looking chick. She know that. So maybe she is working harder. I don't know. I just think it's kind of silly to say. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't agree with it. But hey, you guys are men. You guys are fucking different size women, so you should know. Hi, Madara. Welcome. Leo says they give great head and know how to cook. Ninjas will go. Trust me. Yeah, you know what, Leo? That's not the first time I heard that they can cook. I heard that they know how to make a great meal and they keep their man full. Like they're always feeding their man. Whereas some people say, oh, skinny girls or girls that's in shape, they only care about themselves, they're vain. I hear all of that, you know. Which is true for some women, but not all women. Like me, I want to make sure my man eats. I want to make sure he's good. I want to make sure, you know, I try to, it's a lot of competition out here. So I'm the type of woman when I'm in a relationship, I want to secure it. I make sure my man is good, foot rubs and all. I take hot oil, rub him down, anything he wants. If he tell me to get on my knees right now, I'm gonna get on my knees right now. That's how, that's how it's going with me. I don't care how pretty I am. And yes, I am an attractive woman. And yes, I do have a nice body. And I'ma still go hard for the dude that I'm vucking. you know? That way he don't go and vuck somebody else. It's too much competition out here. And the problem is a lot of women don't like to compete. A lot of women rather compete with their man than to compete with other women. See me, I let the man lead. I don't compete with him. I let him do what he got to do, and I fall back and rest in my femininity. I don't even try to compete with no man, you know? But I know Maria, and I know Ling Ling, and I know Becky. They over there, and they probably looking at my man too. So what I got to do is do the right thing to keep my man. That way, Maria, Ling Ling, and Becky can't get to him, because I'm not the prettiest woman in the world, and I'm not the only pretty in the world woman in the world. I
Hmm.
know there's women out there competing. So yes, that's just me. But okay.
Now,
So,
Youngie says something interesting. He says, "Fupa Pasisi, soft AF." What he
uh,
talking about? All Pasisi is soft AF. What do you come across some vibranium Pasisi?
wait,
Do you
where
come
you
across like a robot Pasisi? Is it like made out of like carbonite? Is it made out of bone? Is it made out of aluminum? Like what? How? What other type is it? What other type is it? It's all soft. That is why, LL Cool J, you're as soft as a pillow and I'm as hard as steel. Like, it's supposed to be that way.
right? Exactly. All vagina is supposed to be soft, wet, and warm and tight. So I don't know where you get that from. And if anything, I think the only reason why a big woman's vagina would be soft or wet or whatever is because it's sweating a lot. There's
Oh,
a lot of sweat, right, JC? Like,
well, I'm assuming that like some of the thigh sweat get into it. I just assume that that's how the anatomy works. And I assume that like the juices, and no air hits it. No air hits it.
exactly. So it gotta smell bad, I mean, it has to.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I shower, I take my rag or my woof, what you call it,
I don't
poos, the
want to know.
poopy thing,
I
and
don't.
I wash.
No,
You know,
yeah, I
when
don't.
a big girl,
I
wait, hold on.
listen.
When a
I don't want to know the details. I just whatever it is to make it good, do it. And part of what you do to make it good is not be fat, because
right, they can't reach. Go
oh
ahead, Jesus.
yeah, no,
That's what I'm trying to get at. They can't reach.
yeah,
But
it's I don't know. It's just scientifically bad, and y'all know what y'all want. Y'all know that y'all want to bite Kelly Stamps in the booty as much as I do, And just like you, I will not be biting her booty. But that doesn't mean I'm not going. I'm going to say um, I'm not going to pretend like, oh, it's not soft because I'm not biting it, because then I go into a cycle of coping mechanisms. I am coping. I'm coping with the fact that I am not going to bite Kelly Stamp's booty, but hers is worth biting. Just because I can't bite hers, that doesn't mean I'm going to bite Lizzo booty.
exactly.
My bad, I interrupted. Apparently, according to Madeira, I interrupted, and you were going into something good. So,
No, no, no. I was just saying that when you shower, it's important that you wash. I can
oh,
just wash. I can reach everything. There's no creases and crevices, and I have to lift this and lift that. No. But with a big girl, I heard this is what I heard. When they wash, they got to lift sections and get underneath. And if they don't, it'll smell because the sweat and, stuff like that. So that's why I was saying I can imagine the smell, how they smell if they can't reach.
well, I think that they go through the procedure. Like I think that they whatchamacallit, that they use a mop. And not the same mop that they use on the floor, but they use a mop that's specially designed to get into the hard to reach places for them. And then that's how they do that.
Yeah, you said a mop. I
Yeah.
can't.
Like a mop, or they put a towel on the stick.
Something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
or
what it was. It wasn't a mop. It was a towel on the stick. Here, in fact, I have a video on that. Hold on, let me see. I have to talk
why are you getting that together? Edward Williams says, never experienced the BBW. I'm in great physical shape. Nothing against BBW, but never been into them. Exactly, but they are into you. This is the crazy part about a BBW. They think that other big men are gross. Like men that's big like them, they would never touch, they would never date. They only go after men who are in great physical shape. And I learned that from like a lot of my BBW family members and my friends. They will never date a fat person. So I want to ask them one day, one of them, I'm say, hey, listen, how come they're gross but you're not? Like I'm just gonna flat out ask them because obviously they think they're better than men for some reason.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know, but yeah, they they need to lose weight
Well,
ASAP.
what they're doing is they're overestimating the difference in value of penis and vagina. They're there. Somebody said, "When is the last time I got some pussy?" What's today? Tuesday. Very strange question, but not really relevant. And it was from somebody who wasn't fat. So there you have it. All right. Let me show you what I was talking about the rag on the stick.
Hi, Classy. Good to see you. Hi, regular degular.
When I grow up, I want to be a lardo on workman's comp, just like Dad. I wash myself with a rag on a stick. Ew,
So that is what they do.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
that's the science of bathing.
A rag on a stick. That's interesting, if that's true.
I never watched a big woman bathe. I just assumed stuff from The Simpsons. That's what they do.
That's gross. Hi, Bola X. Welcome. And make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Get me back into the algorithm because I've been gone for a while. So a lot of people are not seeing me go live. So hit the like button, guys. Yeah, but yeah, guys, stop fucking these big girls. That's the first thing I want you guys to do. Big girls out of the question. And don't let them tell you that they're thick. Because to me that's cringe. When a fat woman say I'm thick and I'm big and beautiful and all that, no, you need to tell them no, you need to go to the gym and lose some weight.
So
Here.
Mills says, GC, you never watch BBW or SSBBW porn either. No, no, I haven't. I have watched it where with the BBW, but not very long. It doesn't take long for me to switch. Every now and again, I'll watch one and I think it's a threesome, and it's not a threesome. It's something else. It's well, it is a threesome, but I don't really count big women as women. So it's still just one. So they'll have like one regular woman that they put in the thumbnail, and then they'll say two beautiful women, and one lucky guy or something like that. But then it's only one attractive woman. So they'll sneak one of those in. I have seen that happen. So, but I don't really watch that too long. And I have seen in person big people go at it. I've seen it because those of you who are in the Bay um, know that there's a club called the Power Exchange. And those of you who are not, basically what it is it's a place where you can go and you can watch other people vuck while you vuck. So it's for voyeurs and exhibitionists like myself. And there they do have in plain sight a lot of big bucking, and it's hard to turn away from. But I don't go there to watch that.
Yeah, please don't. I I don't know. I just feel bad for big people because not only is it gross to look at, but it's unhealthy.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen, it's kind of like what I expect happens when you shake a lava lamp. I'm assuming that when you shake a lava lamp, it looks like that.
Mm-hmm. Facts. It's just a bunch of like goo and jello and jelly all over the place. It's gross.
Yeah, well, it's not my thing. It's not my thing. I've actually seen it, and I still don't know how it works. Like when I see skinny dudes, what's going on, Edward? it when I see slim dudes do it, I see it and I still don't know how it's done.
Real quick, Ed, if you're big, I'm not talking about you. I'm really talking about women because a big man, I look at him a little different from a big woman. Big men can get women if they have the resources and things like that. But a big woman really can't get the type of man they want. You know what I mean? They can't get the type of man they want. They can't get a high value man. They can't get a man with money. None of that. But you can still be a high value man and fat. So, am I right, GC?
Yeah, well, I mean, look at Biggie Smalls, for example. He says, "Heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever. However, I stay Gucci down to the socks." So yeah, it is easier for men to substitute. That being said, I will recommend Edward and all others to try to look your best in order to get the best outcome out of life. I will say that.
For your health, for health reasons.
Yeah, that too, but also to get a better response from women.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So Classy says, "Don't feel bad. There's unchecked depression, or they just have to overeat." I don't know. See, I don't really know. Like Classy, when you eat good food, you don't really ask for the recipe, you just eat it. I don't know what makes a fat woman, fat, and what makes a fine woman fine. I don't ask about their routine or their regimen or their makeup pattern or stuff like that. For example, once again, Kelly Stamps, she sells that. She talks about like her makeup routine and all that crap. I don't care. I don't even watch her. I just appreciate the end results. I don't know what makes the booty so biteable to me, but I do know that I want to bite hers.
she's just very attractive.
Yeah,
So it's normal to want to bite her booty.
exactly. It's very normal.
But it's not really normal to want to bite a big girl's booty. It's just not. It's weird.
Exactly. Some dudes are natural chubby chasers, but no, it's not that many, especially in the black community. Some people have. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I'm talking about you, Mills. Here's the thing. Some brothers go to prison and then they come out addicted to prison food. And then they be like, hey, let me get some bread so I go to the store and pick up some ramen. Why? Because that's a treat to them. That is a treat. So they just develop a taste for the badness in the world. But you should want to leave prison and come out and want a big, thick, juicy Ruth Chris steak. That is what you should want.
Mm-hmm.
Institutionalized. This fat institutionalized is what some brothers are going through.
Exactly. But speaking of that, we have Mills 36. Hi. You there, Mills?
I can't hear him either.
Okay, Mills, we can't hear you. You want to leave and come back? Or unmute yourself? I don't know what's going on with your audio.
No, he's not muted.
Okay, why you get that together? Guys, if you want to come up, you can hit the link. I put it out there. Also, make sure you hitting that like button and supporting my stream. It's really appreciated. Okay. Oh, someone else is coming up. I don't know if that. Oh, it's him again. Okay. You got it? Mills?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hi, Mills.
Hello?
Hey,
Hey, can you hear us?
Hello?
Can you hear us, Mills?
Looks like he got rid of the wrong one.
Uh-oh. No, he was talking.
Well, no, but there was like two of them, one in the back and one in the front. Looks like he got rid of the. I don't know. But yeah, we heard him for a second. But let's see. Somebody said, "How big are we talking about?"
You could, GC, you can highlight the comments.
Yeah, I know. But so he says, "How big are we talking?" Listen, if she's too big, she's too big. Okay, so I took an art class, right, in college. And they one of the I can't draw for nothing, but it's a requirement. And one of the things that had me cracking up when the teacher said, so we was told to go out and get some art supplies, right? And they said he said get some charcoal, but they have charcoal that he wanted you to get, which is like chalk and but darker. It's like thick and it's a stick and everything like that, and it's
Mhm.
compressed. And then they had like burnt twigs. So a lot of people, including myself, I think, got the burnt twigs. And then a lot of students were saying, like, is this what you were looking for? And it looks similar, but it's obvious that it was a burnt twig. And he
Mhm.
said, no, that's a twig. And he was like, no, that's a twig. That's a stick. That's a twig. That's a stick. He just kept doing that. And then, he finally just announced to the class, if it looks like a twig, it's a twig. So, fellas, if she looks fat, she's fat. Don't try to say, oh no, 160 pounds, but what if she's 7 foot tall? Don't give me no crap like that. If she looks fat, she's fat.
Pretty much. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Hi, Complex.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Y'all talking about the what is that? The politicians, or I don't even know if they're politicians. They're talking about you can't F them if you're not voting. That's what you guys are talking about?
Yeah, that's what we're talking
Correct.
Oh, okay. Okay. What I would say to that is get a damn passport. Like
Mm,
literally. It's
absolutely.
like you can't force somebody to vote. And I'm expecting they want you to vote for Democrat. No, that like you can't expect somebody to vote and use your coochie as a bargain. That's not gonna work out for like most guys.
Exactly. Most guys that either have sex or just don't like to be manipulated that way.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
It just doesn't work. Um, Men need to take their power back because these women, they think they have all the power. Like just stop fucking them. Like seriously.
Hey,
Now, complex. I will say this: there's a problem with the whole passport plan, and that is, if you travel, you can't vote in that country, and since you can't vote there, you can't fuck there either. Apparently, right?
based on their logic, yeah.
Yeah, based on their logic, Stella got her groove back. Nope, he didn't vote. Like that's just ridiculous.
Mhm.
And my thing is like, who are they aiming this towards? Like, there's like,
Thirsty.
They're
They're
aim,
aiming
like,
they're
at
but
aiming it
what type
towards
of
black
black guy
men.
are they aiming this towards?
Black men.
thirsty black men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
They're
black
aiming
men
this
to vote
towards
their
like black
direction.
men that can't even vote.
Yeah. I think they're more aiming it towards like pro blacks.
I think they're aiming it towards everyone, even the ones who can vote.
So basically, so that means that they're gonna stop. They're gonna stop bucking cons, then, right?
No. I mean, well, I guess.
I mean, I just
Right.
told you they can't really buck ex cons because he can't vote.
They're never gonna stop fucking them.
No.
Oh,
They're
okay.
gonna always fuck Pookie and Ray Ray. You know that.
I
Pookie
mean,
top priority.
if you think
Right?
about it, most of the Department of Correctional women are black. They're having sex with the men in prison.
Yeah.
I dated a corrections officer before at Folsom, and
At Folsom? Oh,
yeah, and she said that even women can get arrested for doing that.
yeah, you can go to jail for that.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I don't know. I actually wanted to when I was visiting a homie, not at Folsom, but in a city jail, in a county jail in Santa Rita. The clerk that was taking the money back in the day where you couldn't just do it electronically, or you just had to give them like a money order to put on their books. She could get it. She could get it, and if some prisoners was hitting it, they some lucky dudes. But yeah, she could have got it.
I think that's crazy for her to be having sex with them.
Well, I don't know. Oh, and the chick. I mean, I wouldn't have been messing with her if she wasn't attractive too. But she wasn't as attractive as the one that was taking the book money. But I I don't think that they keep them like in with the prisoners proper because they all had like separate jobs. Like the one chick, like I say, she was outside of the prison. She wasn't interacting with the prisoner. She was interacting with friends and family members, taking their money and putting it on the books. That was her job. So, and then the
She,
other one, she
she didn't
worked.
see the prisoners.
Yeah, she didn't see the prisoners, as far as I know. And then the other one, when I was seeing, she worked in the infirmary, so she did see the prisoners after they got stabbed, and she sit there when they are handcuffed to the bed. So maybe she looked. Yeah, I don't know. Now that I think about it,
Maybe she
maybe
did.
she
You never
did, like
know.
and just like bucked his stitches out. Who knows?
You never know. I mean, you got to understand those men are not around nothing but a bunch of men. So any woman, regardless of how big or how ugly she look, hey, that's a vagina that's available.
True.
Yeah, true. But what kind of woman would take that job though?
You,
Also,
you'd be amazed. A lot of them do.
Yeah.
A desperate one.
right, desperate and they know what they're doing, you know.
Well, okay. I'm thinking that kind of like they don't actually put the women soldiers on the battlefield. I'm thinking that it's that. I'm thinking that you just get a woman who wants a job with benefits or whatever, and she signs up knowing that they are not going to put her in triple max, having
Mhm.
her trying to put a chokehold on a muscle bound skinhead. That's what I'm thinking. At least I hope that they have sense enough to not to try to pull some crap like that, or that they just go to a woman's prison. But
Yeah, no, no, they want to be with the men. I think these women want the attention from the jail birds. That's why they do the job.
you
They
know,
want to be desired, because they know these jail men are going to desire them because there's no other women around.
And you also have to understand that there's a certain type of control. These men are behind cages and they're under the government, so they can't do very much to the women. So
yeah,
Right.
I agree, Melly. I think that there is that. I think a lot of women want to be probation officers for the same reason. That some chicks just like to have dominion over muscle bound dudes. They just like to just be the power force in their life. I don't
Hmm.
know if they translate that into sexual desire. However, I do know that they get a certain type of thrill from that. Or I should say, I do strongly suspect that they get a certain type of thrill from that, and that's because of the number of Black women who major in stuff looking to be that. Like how many sociology majors do we know that do stuff like that? They just want to have that ability to say, "I could send you back to jail." Say I'm pretty.
Right.
Say
But
I'm say I look better than Melody. That is what they can do all the time, and you have no choice to but to say you're prettier than Melody.
right, exactly. But look, even other jobs like ticket, you notice the people that give the tickets, they're usually a black woman. Or who else? There's so many like power jobs like that where you can
Yeah.
The DMV.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, the
Mhm.
DMV bitches, and they take every little bit of power. Like they have judgment. So when you're a kid, or even when you're an adult, and you got to get your license renewed or something, and you have to take that test, and you miss like one too many, that's when they turn on. That's when they like, yeah, I got the power. I got the power, nigga. You have to
Mhm.
be nice to me, or else I would just take this as a fail. I would just take
Yeah.
this as a failure. They take every little bit. You're right.
They love it too. They love to fail you,
Yeah.
you know? I think they just like being mean sometimes. They just like having that power in their hands.
Well, I will say this, Melody, and this I'm thinking specifically the DMV at the time for now.
Mhm.
I will
Yeah.
say that even though they do have that power sometimes, with me, they have been pretty decent with it, especially when I was younger. When you're younger, you're greater at the mercy of it because you might not pass that test. Now, I think it's on computers now,
Mm-hmm.
but before we had to hand do it and then take it to the person. So I got snitched on, right? Um, okay, because we hand did it and we all are turning 16 at the same time, so you're always going to have friends that already took the test and there's only like 6 tests.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can ask your friend to give you a copy of theirs and then you put it up your sleeve and then you go into the DMV and then you take it. That was my plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling that this country white boy, I never forget the look on his face. He was one of those truck driving cowboy hat looking white dudes, and I strongly suspect that he did it, and it was one of these stereotypical black chicks that got me off the hook because I think that that's like a misdemeanor or some crap like that.
Right.
So could have made a big deal about it, but she didn't. I just had to take it again regular.
Oh, you just got lucky.
Yeah, I got lucky. I won't deny that. I'm
I
giving
was,
credit where credit's due. I'm not gonna say that they always exercise their power, to hold you down. Ticket women, meter maids are bees. They're bees.
yeah, but I was
People.
I was about to just give you a story real quick. So
Okay.
I do delivery on the side. Everybody know that. I do Uber Eats on the side or whatever. And one day I parked real quick. I ran in to pick up the food from IHOP. There was no other parking. And it was this black woman giving me she waited. She must have been standing there looking at me, waiting for me to get out the car. And I went inside, grabbed the food real quick, ran outside. She was already giving me a ticket. And I'm just like, oh, I'm doing Uber Eats. And I was trying to explain to her. And she was being a bitch at first, but she was like, all right, you know what? I'll spare you this time and all this other stuff. And she ripped the ticket up. And I
Oh,
was
cool.
like, oh, yeah, I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, she's being nice. But she saw me get out the car and everything. And then, but I was like, wow, a nice one. She's really nice. And she didn't even look nice, but she was just nice.
She was stalking you. She was waiting for
Yeah.
you to do something.
She wanted to see if I was going to give her attitude, but I'm so nice, you know, she probably was like, oh, okay, she's nice. I'm going to let her go. That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We
it was crazy.
we here we have those because we have the street cleaners that come, or not here, but in Oakland, they have the trucks that come and clean the machine, and like every other Tuesday, you have to move your car.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I got ticketed by a biggin, a black one. This was in the '90s,
Oh,
and
God.
I spent like because this was summertime. I was a student at the time, and this was summertime, and I was so pissed that I actually followed her around and went and warned everybody that she was coming. you know like I must have spent like 2-3 hours doing that, and she was pissed. She called her supervisor, who was another biggin, to come and check me, but I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm doing nothing illegal. She called the cops. I explained to them, and it was some white dudes. They was like, well, we don't like getting those tickets either. It's a natural part of the thing. I was like, yeah, but if I could save others from getting it, then I'm gonna do that. I'm done. But she was pissed because I think that it goes into their numbers. It goes into their stats or something. So she was real nice to let you go.
She was really nice to let me go. And I just explained, like, I'm doing Uber Eats. I just ran in real quick. She just like, okay. She was nice. But she was big and she had no hair. She did not look like a nice woman at all. But she was.
Oh,
She turned
oh,
out to be okay.
and another one, Melody, another one who wasn't okay, right? So I was maybe like I don't know, I was young, I was a teenager, right? Um
Hmm.
so so the BART, and I don't know if they still have this, they have junior passes. And what a junior pass means is that you have to be 12 and under, and instead of her paying $16, you pay like $4, right?
Mhm.
So I don't have enough money to pay the whole $16 just to bark myself around. So I got the junior pass, hoping that things would be cool, right? They had the junior ones, and then they had the senior ones, the older people, the elderly ones, right? And so that is how I was getting by Bart. And one day, this chick at Fruitvale BART station, mind you, at Fruitvale BART station, snitched me out to the same department that got Oscar Grant. This is a black woman. Snitch. Now she don't get paid extra. There's no benefits from doing that. There's no benefits from snitching a young man out for using the junior pass, but she did, right?
Mhm.
So
Of course.
yeah, because she's an awful human being, right? And then um and then what happened? I Oh, so then they called it in, found out that I didn't have any priors, but I can't get caught doing it again because now my name is out there. Now the next time they catch me with a pink pass, they were pink. Next time they catch me with a pink pass, then I will have to go to that little trailer that they got at Bayfair. So that was the situation there. Fast forward a little bit, right? This same chick, once again at Fruitvale Station, that's where I got off, and that's where I had somebody like my mom or something come pick me up from the BART station. So I'm near waiting, and then two grown black men got out and started fighting, right? And I
Mhm.
went to go break it up, and it was me and another brother that was attempting to break it up, and then one of them called the other one the B word, and I was like, "Hey, he called you a B word. I'm not going to try to stop it." And that was the end of that, right?
Mhm.
The next day, that same chick said, "When grown men are fighting, stay out of it."
Get out of here.
And I was like, bitch, how are you? I didn't say that, but I'm just thinking, like, the nerve of you. You don't realize, you don't remember that you're the same one that snitched on me. You're the same one that snitched on me not too long ago, not but a few months ago. So I'm too old to use that pass, but I'm too young to try to stop brothers from killing each other. That is on you. How twisted was she? I'll never forget her. She was an awful chick.
Yeah, she sounds awful, you know. But she's not as bad as when I get pulled over by cops, I usually get let go. They let me go, they don't give me tickets, they're nice, but when it's a black woman, oh my God, when it's a black woman, she's real nasty. Um, when I'm talking to them, they're rude. One time she told me to shut up, one of the black women cops. She was like, "Oh, shut up. I'm talking." I'm like, "Okay, go ahead." She's just being a bitch.
Because you
And I
cuter than
forgot,
her.
Yeah,
huh?
Nana Envy.
She was like,
Yeah,
God damn, she looked better than me.
Damn it,
I
man.
gotta give her a
Shoot.
ticket.
Yeah, that's why she
probably.
gave you a ticket. She like, I look like the Hamburglar.
Yeah, like she was really ugly and she was mean. And I'm like, wow, shut up. I'm like, okay, you know. And she was just like, what did she say to me? I think it was for tents or something stupid. She gave me a ticket for something stupid. And then she looked at my sticker in the front and it just expired. And
Oh,
she gave me a ticket for that. And then she's like, did you have your seatbelt on? I'm like, yes, I did. I took it off when you stopped me. I did have my seatbelt on. Like she was just trying to get me for everything. She just was giving me tickets. She was being mean. I was just like, wow.
you
But
lucky she
usually
didn't
when,
frisk you.
huh?
You lucky she didn't frisk you.
Oh, I'm happy she didn't do that.
Huh.
Because
Early.
she could have, but I'm glad she didn't. But when guy cops pull me over, they're much nicer, much nicer. And usually, if it's something stupid, they let me go. But her, it was just different. It was a whole different experience. And I just remember like, wow, she was the nastiest to me.
Well, Melody, you have to understand being a policeman. Let me say this: looking at a beautiful woman that increases our testosterone. So heck yeah, we're gonna let you go because we think we might one day get the number, especially if we're
Well, the
patrolling
crazy
that
part,
area.
what's crazy, Classy? I think I told GC this story, but I got pulled over in Irvington, New Jersey. and it was a black cop, and he told me to give him my number if I
Oh,
don't want the ticket. I
yeah.
told you that one, right?
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
He was like, he was like, oh, well, you have a number. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then he was like, okay, cool. Well, let me get your number and you're good to go. And I did something real stupid. I backed up. I backed up from, I backed up all the way to the corner. That's what he got me for. But I'm just like, okay,
That's
like,
crazy.
yeah.
I gotta admit, I did get away with a lot, um, from cops. So,
Not me. Y'all some lucky motherfuckers. Goddamn.
well, it depends. Like, it was never nothing major. I mean, I get the feeling that when in my teens and early 20s, they were looking for something big. Like they pull me over for something small, hoping to find something big, and then when they don't, they just let you go. Like me, I had a lot. Probably 'cause I'm a very square looking dude. But I had a lot of cops say, "Don't you ever let me catch you driving faster than me on the freeway again." Like I get stuff like that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Well, that's because you're nice. When you speak to them like in a nice tone and they see you're not a threat, sometimes they let you go. They don't, they don't really bother you that much.
So complex, you probably look like a threatening black man.
I'm literally wearing a do rag right now. I'm not a
Oh,
threatening black man though, but it's like because I grew up in DC, so like everybody's black down there, all the cops, but they still expect you to like I don't know, they expect the worst. Like even when I'm not doing nothing, I be at the bus stop and I look up and there's some cop at a red light darting and looking at me and all that. I'm like, damn man. But other than that, like I stay out the way, but like they come at me still. But as I'm 23 now, I don't really get that much problems anymore.
oh, you're 23.
Yeah.
And how old were you when they were bothering you?
Oh, no, this is when I was like a teenager.
Oh,
I was dealing
okay.
with cops since I was like 8 years old. Like the first time I got messed with, I was a little ass kid. They pulled me out of my class. Some little white girl said I had cocaine. It was damn baby powder. But they called the cops still. And then the cops are checking through my bags and shit. And I'm thinking about it now. I was like, what type of 8-year-old would have cocaine in the damn 2000s? Like, it's not the 80s no more. But yeah, they
That's
came up there and
crazy.
checked me out. And that was my first experience with them. But like, I don't deal with cops no more. Stay
That's
out the way.
good. The only time they put handcuffs on me, I'm not gonna lie, I got handcuffs put on me, is because I ran away and I cut school. And when they caught me, I guess my mother put pictures out of me. They put handcuffs on me and put me in a car. I was young though. I was real young. I was like, oh my God, they put them on tight. I never had handcuffs on me. That was the only time I had handcuffs on me. And they sat me in the back of the cop car. But they caught me because I ran away. But that was like the only encounter I had with the cops like that.
Was it like truancy?
It might have been truancy. I don't remember. I thought it was cops. I thought it was regular cops, but they put handcuffs on me, so I guess it was cops. And I was
Nah.
young. I was real. I don't know. I was real young. I was real young when they did that. I was probably like 15. I just left. I
Um,
ran away.
I
Yeah,
want
that's
to hear.
wild.
Yeah.
I want to hear a classy. I got a feeling that helicopters fly by to take Classy down. Like they be having him hemmed up with a spotlight on him and everything, and it's like 8 cops pointing their guns at him. You know, like put the scalpel down. I mean, like, what's your experience, Classy? You there?
You that
That
classy?
man, he asleep. He doing an operation right now.
Right?
Well,
Sorry about that. I'm back. I was trying to finish getting dressed for tonight. My experience. I've had experience with police officers. Well, one time I forgot to renew my tag, and I got pulled over by this 4'11" black and Asian chick, beautiful and fine. I thought she was going to be a bitch, but she was very nice. But there was this other time I got pulled over by this cop because he was jealous of the car that I had.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait,
How
wait, 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 wait. Did you smash the woman cop?
I didn't want to go too far. She was, 4'11", and I didn't want to give her any ideas to pull a gun, so I played it safe. I thought God was punishing me that day when He sent her, but
I think she wanted you. I think she's seen the car, and she's seen because you have one of those license plates that say,
no. The male cop got jealous of the car. The other car that I was driving that day, I was driving my little electric car that day. She pulled me over. She said, "You got to renew your license," and she said one of your tail lights was out. I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know, so
Mhm.
she just gave me a warning for the renewal of the ticket. I mean, gave me the ticket just for the renewal of the insurance. But I didn't want. I was looking at her like, damn, she fine, but I didn't want to tell her. She got my license. She was like, wow, you're 46. She's like, you don't look like it, and it sounded like a hit. But I was
Wait, you're
like,
46?
I will be 46 this year.
Yeah, she wanted some penis. You missed an opportunity.
Maybe I did, but I was like, being a black man, woman cop that small, I don't want to give her no reason to pull out a gun. I'm like, let me just take the ticket. I'll go pay it right away.
Nah, she was trying to get you to pull out your gun. Yeah.
I would have
yeah,
loved to.
classy. You're
She was
very handsome. You're a good age, I'm sure.
Thank you. I
just
would
the
have.
fact that
You're
she was
welcome.
looking at your age. Just the fact that because it don't say your age, it say your birthday. So she was calculating your age. Like that's
Yep.
the only thing she looked at on your ID and stuff. And then and that's why she asked for it. She don't need your ID to tell you that your license is out or
Well,
that
not to
your
mention
light is out.
she was nice. She was like, just go get it renewed because the next cop could be a dickhead or an asshole. She seemed kind of cordial, so she said just to save you the trouble, just go get it renewed. I was like, okay.
See,
Yeah.
I feel like we all had positive experiences with
I
cops.
I've been pulled out. I had pulled out with gunpoint one time. I have had that experience at
Oh
16
my
years old.
Me
God.
too. I've been accused of a robbery, man.
Mhm.
I'm coming home from. I mean, I'm coming from the mall with my brother. Talking about we robbed somebody. Like, what are you talking about, man? And then they had us at gunpoint. And then when they asked for dispatch for the description, they said all black. I was wearing a yellow shirt. Like just dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
happened to me too. The guy they were searching for was 6'4", and I'm nowhere near that. So I was like, "Oh, can I have your badge number so I can see you?"
They said black man or he fit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could have definitely sued them, right?
Yeah, I could have sued him. I mean, but this happened in Oklahoma, not in LA. This is when I was living in Oklahoma. Some of those cops out there are a little bit racist, so I was just like, whatever. Even the black ones.
Even the black ones, they don't like their own kind.
Shoot, they're just as worse
Yeah,
sometimes.
they way worse.
Oh damn. Yeah, I guess like it's like the black women here. They don't like other black women.
Especially if you find, yeah. Because you can get
Yeah, exactly.
you have a lot of options and they don't. They have to settle for
Yeah.
soup.
Right. They
Speaking of
be
black
mess.
women,
Hmm?
I went to Ghana. Like, oh my God, I have never in my life, man. I went to Ghana and I never in my life seen so many fit and feminine attractive women down there.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I
Oh,
that shit
really?
changed my whole like
Yes.
never
Jesus.
So
Tell me
changed
about
my
it.
way of thinking.
passport bro now?
Go ahead.
Are you a passport bro now?
Uh I wouldn't say I'm a passport bro, but like, cause
You just
you
like
can
to
meet
travel.
everything here in the US.
You just
You're,
like
Like
to
you're like me.
travel.
You're a bro with a passport, but not necessarily a passport bro.
Right.
yeah, I just got a passport. Like, I want to go see the world. That's about it.
So
I
let
get
me
But
ask you this, complex. So no more vucking women here?
you said what?
No more vucking women here.
Not if not messing around with certain types. That no more messing with those certain type of women. I don't
Right.
do that no more.
And you
That's
see,
good.
Melody, that's why they're so against passport bros, because it's not that they're worried that that they're all gonna expat at the same time, like a million man march the fuck out of here.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
they're more worried that men come back with a heightened sense of self value, you know, and
Hmm.
they demand more. They basically raise the bar on the women that they want now that they've seen what they have available to them abroad. So yeah, that is commonplace, but classy. I got to get back on you because the Stormy Maya story, and now it is. You got to shoot your shot more often.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not gonna lie.
They'd be throwing it at you
I
a lot
probably had
more than you
many.
realize.
Well, yeah, I probably had more chances than I've actually visualized or even thought about. it was just, like I said, when it comes to police officers, I try to just stay calm as possible because
I agree.
I don't want no craziness, and I don't need to get suspended by the board over some dumb stuff. So it's like, just give me the ticket so I can go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
Exactly.
she did look like some out of Jagged Edge video. I was sweating. I was like, Jesus
Oh
Christ.
wow, she was that hot. Huh?
Yeah, I was like, I looked at the sky like, God, you are so unfair to me today.
hey, you know that they be looking for penis, like female police officers, especially like in a major city like Oakland or something,
Uh-huh.
or New York or LA. They sign up hoping to find somebody, typically another cop.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told this by a female police officer because I was working customer service and she called and we was chopping it up.
Mm-hmm.
And she was Oakland PD, and she was like, she's a white chick. She was like, "Why do you guys do this sideshow? Do you have any idea how much it costs taxpayer dollars?" I was like, "Nah, we don't, because we young and we don't give a shit." But she
Exactly.
was like,
Yeah.
well, we got to do overtime and we got to cover all these districts because we don't know where you guys going to show up, and it's costing everybody money. And I was cracking up, but then she started telling me about. First of all, she told me that she was a prostitute cop. One of those bitches that stand outside with the regular prostitutes.
She's undercover.
Yeah, she's an undercover, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
So
wow.
So yeah, she told me she was one of those, and she told me that the regular hoes are really nice.
They
Like,
are. Mm-hmm.
and
Wait, what do you mean really nice?
well, they were telling her like, "Hey, be careful, that guy is a cop." They were telling her that,
Hmm.
and they were telling her like the best spots to stand at and stuff. She said that they were just really nice to her. And one of the other secrets she revealed was that female cops, most of them, are there looking for husbands. They are not there to make a career out of being a policewoman. They're there to find a policeman as a husband and then retire. That
Mm-hmm.
is it. That is their plan.
Really?
Yeah, they are there looking for penis.
It's
So
just like the military one, the same way.
it's exactly.
Even some of the female doctors that I work with.
So do you think it's
Well, I
easier
got
for
a
them?
feeling that the nurses and stuff is doing that with you because they like go to one of those stupid little 9-month colleges, hoping to get classy, you know.
Well, I mean, it doesn't.
Well,
I mean, I get your point. It's not even just that. It's just full-fledged university. Women that are doctors and nurses. Yeah, they just want to just land a man so they don't have to work too hard.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
So the moral of the story, classy, is she wanted your penis.
Yeah, I caught that. I mean, that's why I had a bulging desire down low, but I had to put that main to contain that. So I was like,
Well, she's 4'11", so she was right there, and she said,
you
she's so
wouldn't.
little.
You could not believe the stuff that was rolling through my mind. I wanted to treat her like she was in a Circus du Soleil.
"Yeah, that
Just
sounds like
flip
a
her around.
end of a porn movie."
Mm,
So I'm a close to
mm.
6 foot. So I'm like, that would have been an amazing. Anyway, let me stop.
Well, what are you like? 5'11", 5'10"?
About 5'11".
5'11". Okay.
Yeah.
You and GC about the same height, right? GC, you're like 5. No, you're 6 feet, right?
Yeah, I'm 6'0".
Um,
Six
Oh,
foot.
I was gonna say
Well, I'm 6'1" when my hair grow. So
well, how about you, Complex? How tall are you?
5'11" gang, but we got a 6 feet guy in here. But I'm
Oh
I'm, I'm
yeah.
5'11" too.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
only
Hey,
an inch.
grow your hair a little bit.
Yeah, you're just an
I
inch.
have an afro, man.
I just cut mine
You
off.
5'11" with the afro? Okay.
Mhm.
Nah. I'm 5'11" without it.
Well,
Maybe I
I'm
am
five
6 feet now.
two.
Yeah, you 6 foot. You grew the afro.
Mhm.
You're 6 foot.
Right. With my heels on, probably like 5'5", but I'm 5'2" without heels.
I can still kiss the top of your head.
Right, because I'm little. Like, yeah.
Dang, with the 4'11" chick though, you can't even like kiss the top of her head without like scooching down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's too
that's true.
short. You can lift her up though.
I would have done that. She was lightweight. She wasn't fat. She was a nice thick proportion. Like I said, she looked like an ex video vixen. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that sounds hot.
I literally was expecting an overweight gorilla grape ape type of woman to get out that car.
No, but what was she, black?
Yourself?
She was like black and Asian. She was definitely black and Asian. I can tell by
Oh,
her
that's the
face
best.
structure.
Oh, Blasian.
The
She
Nicki
was
Minaj.
no. Actually, she remind me. I don't know if y'all remember this ex video vixen named Tamika Skanes.
No,
Beautiful,
never
very
heard of
brown,
her.
brown skin. Just oh gosh, she was amazing.
I gotta look her up.
She started off a little bit aggressive in the beginning, but once she got my license, that's when she kind of softened up a little bit. I was
Hmm.
like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of aggressive, there was this lady who was being really rude to my mom. I was like, what the hell? Um, I heard her on the phone. My mother called for her bill, for like electric bill, and this lady was going off on her. My mother was like, "You're being very aggressive, ma'am." She's like, "I am not aggressive. That's just how I talk. Now you're gonna deal with it." I'm like, "What the fuck?" I tried to take the phone out my mom's hand because I was gonna go off, but she was like, "No, don't mess it up." But this is how these women are. Like, I don't
Miserable.
know.
Yeah, it's a curse.
It's a curse. And these are the women that black men are fucking. Nasty, mean, violent, rude,
Not me.
fat.
No.
Hell no.
There's a certain type of black men that are
Like,
fucking.
yeah, once you go to Ghana, you're not gonna mess around in the jungles. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
Ghana.
you
So
go.
what did they
Oh,
look like in Ghana? Were they like tall model type? What they look like?
Nah, so they're very close to Nigeria, but they're Africans, so they're a little darker than us. But I like dark skinned women, so I felt like I was in heaven. But they were all fit. They were all fit. I barely seen any like big women, but like most importantly, like every time I met one of them, like they were feminine regardless. They respect men. Like it's like a mutual respect down there. It's something we don't get in America. That's what I noticed.
And
I didn't see any BBLs. I didn't see any fake hair. I didn't see any sharp nails and shit. No makeup. I didn't see
Yeah,
none of that.
were
they
they
were
were
just
they C cupping it? Were they C cupping it?
C cup. What do you mean by that?
Breast size.
Some of them had some big old.
mhm.
I don't even know. I can't even say it. But yeah. There were some good looking ones.
Big bitties, yeah. Because I mean, they got the small frame and a pleasant disposition in Asia, but they don't have the big bitties. So, but they got them in Africa, huh?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
they
they
do.
they got the booty there. That's the difference. They got the real
All
booty.
and it's
natural.
real and it
Yes,
looks fake. That's what I noticed about African women. Their body look fake, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And you're
very
like,
toned.
damn, like yeah, like how the hell you get that booty? Like what? Like I be seeing a lot of African women. They're gorgeous.
I went to Sierra Leone, Cape Town, and Johannesburg. It's the same there, same way there too. The only reason why they talk about these big women, they're talking about tribes that's out in the desert somewhere. We're talking about within the confines of the city. These women don't
Mhm.
look like that. They're
Yeah,
in
because
shape.
the movie that we watched, GC, um, those
Oh,
women were
seriously?
huge.
Yeah. Seriously. Well, that's Johannesburg. That's South Africa.
No, I'm saying just Africa in general. I've been to Sierra Leone in West Africa. It's the same way those women are in shape like crazy, all natural, booties, everything. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Gorgeous, right?
You
Hmm.
know, it's a trip like in the early 2000s. I met a beautiful woman from Rwanda shortly after the movie Hotel Rwanda came out,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, she was drop dead gorgeous, and I started walking up to her. Cause I shoot my shot clock. You got to shoot it. You got to shoot it. You don't know when you're gonna see it.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no
Huh?
worries. But I went up to shoot it, and then I seen she had a ring. So I just walked up. I was like, "Listen, my compliments. You're a very attractive woman. I see that you're married. I'm not gonna try anything, but I just have to say your husband is a lucky dude." And she said, "Oh, thank you." And she had an accent. I was like, "Where's that accent from?" And she said Rwanda. And then I was like, "Oh wow, things must be pretty bad there." And she said, and I'll never forget this because it really goes into um, how Americans perceive like a lot of places in Africa. She said things were bad during the war. And it dawned on me, Classy and Complex, that we don't call it a war when ill shit happens or when ill stuff happens in Africa. we just they just say, you know, the incident or the genocide or the mass murder. They just call it something other than war. Because when you call it a war, it normalizes it. It makes it like this is something that civilized nations do that our civilized nation has done several times.
Right.
That's facts.
So I was like, yeah, dang, it was a war and now it's over. You know, we just got the movie like a decade after the war happened.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, you know, you're a refugee here, you know. I was like, yeah, it's a war. Wars happen and now they're over and now you have beautiful women who come to America to visit and stuff.
Hmm.
Like, you know, what's the perception doesn't match the reality of Africa is what I'm saying. I've never been, but just from talking to people.
I
Oh
would
Well,
yeah.
love to visit Africa.
well, what
I
the problem? Oh, go ahead, complex. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say when I was there, when I was seeing like I was talking to a lot of people and I was seeing stuff. Um, yeah, we've been lied to a lot in America. Like they're trying to make it seem like everybody's just like broke and
Hmm.
suffering and all that. Those people they're content. Like they're living their
Hmm.
lives. I seen like of course I've been through some of the villages and the infrastructure wasn't there, but like that's not everywhere in like in Ghana or in Africa in general. So like we're being lied to completely. Like I want to go back out there. I want to buy some land.
Well,
I
see,
want to start some
Yeah.
shit.
well,
I
you
heard it
do
was
know. Oh, go ahead.
paradise out there.
Yeah, what the problem is with American media, it's their way of keeping American people from traveling and using America's economy money to build someone else's economy. That's why they keep showing stuff like that. Because you can go, I know friends that go to Turkey and Istanbul. I'm like, man, it's beautiful. It's almost like paradise here. It's not what we've been told by American
Hmm.
news.
I
Yeah, but
agree.
when you think of Africans, you think of like the kids with flies all over 'em and
Exactly.
the skinny people.
Yeah.
Point
Yeah.
taken. Exactly. That's what they show us. The kids getting ate up by a bunch of flies. And it's like, well, you're talking about some shanty, poor African tribe that's having a hard time to survive versus the whole totality of Africa.
Mm-hmm. Because every place have a ghetto everywhere,
Right.
even
Right.
Yeah,
America. Like
Yeah.
what?
that's
I'm
facts.
not gonna stop. If in America I see a kid with flies on his face, I'm pointing and laughing.
You pointing and
Well,
laughing. Why?
You fly face kids,
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
and the cold part is the flies know it's cool. The flies know that you don't have food enough to swat them off, so they just like, oh, he ain't gonna do nothing. Hey, look at this. I'm gonna land right on his lip. He ain't gonna do nothing. He don't have the energy to swat.
Only GC.
I
Only
did
you.
see something crazy down there. I don't know if I can really, but I could try to allude to it. Cause I didn't go by myself, but we went to a bar and then we went downstairs to go get something to eat. I saw like a girl. She looked like she was like 14, and I was like, well, there was kids outside. They were trying to ask her for money and stuff, and I was giving them money and all that. But this girl, she was in a bar, and then this white guy, he came out the bathroom and he grabbed her on the hips and they walked out together. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
White
But
girl.
Now answer me this: was she 14 or was she like a young? Could she have possibly been like a young looking
no,
person?
I get you because everybody down there, the food we eat here, it makes us look old.
Yeah,
Like they all look
Oh
young.
yeah.
But nah, this was a little girl. Like her
gotcha,
frame and how she
gotcha.
was built.
Yeah,
I was like, wow.
no, I trust you could tell. Yeah, so that's twisted.
Well, I think that white men. I hate to say this, but I think a lot of I'm gonna say American. Yeah, I'm gonna say it, white men.
Go
I
ahead.
think they go to Africa and get these young girls under the age of 18. Because remember that thing we were watching, GC movie night, and they had no bra on or anything. Remember the
Uh-uh.
village and how the
Oh,
white people
but they
just
but they were 19 though. You talking about that tribe where they lived in a hut made out of cow dung? You talking about that,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and they
Yeah,
don't wear shirts. They're
yeah.
like topless.
But yeah, and the girls were too. But the thing is that with that tribe, you could tell their age because they make their hairdo based on the age that they are. And when they get married, they change their hairstyle too.
Hmm.
Oh,
So
that's pretty cool.
yeah, so the ones that was hitting on the dude and the cameraman, they were like 19 by their hairdo.
Uh, Okay, so
Go for it.
no, so remember we were saying that we think they go there and take advantage of them young girls. Remember we were saying that?
Yeah, yeah. They probably do, and according to Complex, they do.
Yeah, they do it everywhere, not just Africa,
Yeah, they
Asia,
do it everywhere.
um, Europe. They do it in Eastern Europe, South America. It's mainly them, which is funny. Like when they do the stings in Asia and they start pulling people out, it is like they're either from Australia, the UK, America, Canada. It doesn't matter. They
Yep.
all look the same.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Passport bros. Do you think some of them are traveling for bad things?
For bad things, meaning like what?
As
Like,
in
okay,
talking to little kids.
Well,
like
I mean, in every group, in a large enough group, you're gonna find somebody who is the
Oh,
P word.
rotten apple.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to
mm,
find somebody. I can't really put that on the larger group, and I can tell you that the Complex. That's an interesting story, but I've never come across a place where where I think that a person would feel comfortable doing that. Like I never really came across a situation like yours to where a person it appeared as if they could get away with it. Like in the Dominican, you kind of get that feeling. And I even told a white dude this, that they would kill you. You
mm,
know, was talking to this white dude, and it looks like he was going for it. He asked me, where can I find prostitutes? And I told him, and he said, what do I do? Or he said, how do they verify that she's of age? And I said, well, when you bring any woman to the hotel, they ID her. So stuff like that's going to happen. But I think he was asking because he was trying to figure out a way around it.
mm,
And I just told him, like, listen,
pervert.
um, they kill you for shit like that here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know what you're thinking, but don't do that because they'll fucking kill
Mhm.
you. So I always got that vibe from most of the places I've traveled. I guess Ghana is possibly the exception, or maybe
No, it's illegal down there. But I was asking people, and because I was curious. After I saw that, I was like, that's wild. Because
Well,
I
what's the
wanted to
age
beat
of
his ass.
consent? What's the
But
age of consent there?
oh, it's 18. 18.
Oh,
But the
okay.
thing is, they work on bribes. Like if you can, like we was in the airport. It was funny. We was in the airport waiting for the TSA. I don't know if they call it a TSA checkout. We were trying
Mhm.
to get into the country, and then she gave him some money, and he just let her through. He let her through to the front of the line. But that's how it works out there. Like you can bribe people. So like when they see white people, they just think they got money, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they can basically do what they want. And there's Chinese people down there too.
yeah.
Wow.
No, he's speaking facts. I have been to places where, and I didn't know, but I was late to the thing, and then they told me at the end that I could have just gave security $100 and
Mm-hmm.
walk past the thing because that is unheard of out here. Bribing
Yeah.
any law enforcement official, but there, yeah, you can, and they
Yeah.
ask for it too. They say the word is propina. They in Spanish, they ask for it. They say, you better give me propina for this. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
true.
they've done that to you, GC?
Um, done what? Have cops asked for bribes in order
Mm,
for? Yeah,
yes.
yeah, they have. They asked for it when I got hustled at a casino to check them niggas, and when I got pickpocketed,
Mm,
because okay, so after the pickpocket incident, I'm following the cops everywhere. I was like, dang, this place is hot, and I get the feeling they had me in the van in the truck, and it seemed like they just went and rounded up some niggas just for show.
mm,
Like it was me, the cop, and the and my translator. And yeah, it looked like I was like, what do these dudes have to do with my wallet? They just went and grabbed like 6, 7 people and put them on the back of the thing, like just to show that they out searching for it. knowing that, to me it's just like Spanish, Spanish, Spanish. Like they were actually, how Rush Hour 1, they're like, okay, you're gonna go around and pretend like you're looking for the chick or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, with propina, with tip money, they will, at least pretend to go the extra mile for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny like that. Actually, I did get my wallet back. And guess who gave it back to me?
Cool.
Russell Taylor.
Russell Taylor?
Yeah.
What's he doing there?
Well, he lived there.
Oh, that's
Taylor
funny
Made
as shit.
Dreams. Yeah, Taylor Made Dreams. He has a channel on YouTube, and he lives out in the Dominican. And I chopped it up with him. But by the time somebody, because my business card was in it, so somebody found my wallet, called my work number, and I was like, "Oh, cool. Let me get my ID and stuff back." And so I called him, had the dude give it to him, and he mailed it back to me.
Your money was still there or no?
My money was. Come on, man.
I knew that was
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but I don't.
Real quick, let me read the super chat.
Okay.
Thank you, Dane C, for the super chat. He says, I just got in. What's this female cop story? Hey, Melody, peace, panel, and chat. Peace. We're way far out from that story, unless you guys want to talk about it again. I mean,
Well, the moral of the story is I didn't shoot my shot because I didn't want to get shot.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
It is tough. It is tough. I never popped out a cop, so I can't even fault you for that. I fought you for Stormy Maya, but I can't fault you for that.
But thank you for that.
Stormy Maya.
Yeah, there's no proper way to shoot your shot at a cop. So yeah, I get you on that. But from how you described it, it does seem like she wanted it. So you set up. If you see her again, you won't see her in the crowd.
9 times out of 10, I will see her again. She actually patrols the 405 on the weekends. I'm just not trying to get pulled over again.
Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna pull you over and be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, her shirt's gonna be unbuttoned. Like, yeah, by the way, I just pulled you over because you're low. The tread on your back passenger tire is low, so you might want to take care of that. I know a guy, but I don't have his number, so just call me, and I'll give you my tire guy's number."
You know what I mean? I would probably say something stupid, be like, "Is that almond milk or oats?"
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, whatever's gonna get her attention.
Nah, but I know the officer very well. I know her name. I've seen her before a few times.
Okay, there you go.
You
But
should
yeah,
just ask her.
that's what happened. He got pulled over by a baddie.
Yeah.
You should just ask her for her name and her number.
I mean, I see her a
Or a
lot at the
date.
hospital I work at, because she patrols the highway. They usually come towards the hospital if there's any wrecks. So, I mean, it's almost all the time. So it gets to a point where it kind of wears off.
Oh, so you're not even thinking about it like that no more.
Yeah. It was like that. It was just like that moment, you kind of like, wow.
Yeah. Wow, she's hot.
Yeah. I started thinking about it. First thing that came to my mind was that Drake song. I was just looking at it like, oh my God, staring at your dress because it's see-through.
Hey, they be letting like little women like that patrol the mean streets of Los Angeles.
I was very shocked when she got out of that big, I think it was like an SUV type of a police car that they drive on the highway patrol. She's a chip. I'm gonna just say that, California Highway Patrol.
Oh,
I was
really?
surprised. Yeah, I was surprised when she got out of the car by herself. She didn't have a partner with her. She got out the car. I was like,
"Oh, she had a partner with her, man." The stick
he wasn't.
on her head.
Yeah, exactly in that gun. But I'm saying she didn't have a human. But that's funny. But she didn't have a human partner with her. So I was like thinking the same thing. GC, like, they allow you, but I was like, I'm not gonna tell her that because I don't want that to be offensive, and she'll find the reason to put the cuffs on me.
Wow, that is just a shooting waiting to happen. Because what can she do with like regular sized dudes, and especially big dudes?
That's what I'm saying. The only thing she can do is basically pull out the gun and just release one.
Yeah,
that's it.
Especially like one of those dudes that are so muscles that they taser.
That's why a lot of female cops are aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, I know she gets hit on by a lot of guys, so I was like, I don't even want to know how many times you put your hand on your hip. So just let it go. Give me the ticket, please.
Actually, I've been asking around, and chicks aren't really getting hit on like that.
Probably not today, but I'm saying this happened like about a year ago. So that's why I was like, well.
No, but like recently, I've been asking around just from time to time, and well, like this one chick, she was a cutie at the DMV, and not only was she a cutie, you stand right over her, so you just looking down her titties, right, all day. She got men coming in from all economic backgrounds looking down her titties, and so I says to her, it's like, hey, how often do you get hit on working here? And I actually remember that episode that I had King Sigma asked the same question. And yeah, she said like, I think she said like maybe like 10 times a week. And
I can see that.
Yeah, but that is low considering. Like considering that you see, I would say in any given week, DMV lines are ridiculously long. I would say in any given week she sees 1,000 people,
Yeah.
of which 1,000 men, of which only 10 of them actually shoot their shot, and you're attractive. I found that interesting.
Well, also you can also think of the mindset of what's going through people's mind too when it pertains to their driver's license or whatever they have to take care of. They're probably not even thinking about her.
No, I mean, you recognize an attractive woman, even.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, yes, you recognize it, but at the same time, you probably can compartmentalize it and be like, oh, she's fine, but I need to get this taken care of.
Well, I didn't shoot my shot, so you're right. You're probably right. But then again, I wasn't single at the time. But
all right, but let me say this. Sorry, I'm eating, guys. Let me say this. All right, so even in the streets, guys don't try to talk to you as much as they used to. Like, I even don't get talked to as much as I used to. And I heard on YouTube a lot of women were complaining, not just black women, white women, Spanish women, Asian, that men are not approaching them like they used to. So you guys are men, so let me ask you, why not? Why aren't you guys approaching?
In my opinion, go ahead, GC.
You got it.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, there's still that scarcity amongst a lot of other men, but also with all this, especially you live in New York, with that whole street harassment thing, this Me Too thing, you know, a lot of people can get in trouble instantaneously. So just for saying hello to a woman nowadays, and not to mention, we don't know if that woman is attracted to us for us to be able to code signal or give us a chance to talk to them. So now you have the other women on the other side that want to get hit on, that's in battle with the women who don't want to get on. So we don't know how to differentiate which one should we hit on, which one should we want, because there's no clarity behind it. That's just my opinion, but go ahead, GC.
No, it's a lot of that. I think that combined with it's cold approach to me, and I think a lot of men is not really a strong enough connection to where, you know, if back in the day, if you say you, for example, right, back in the day, if you gave somebody your number, then that means that there is potential that he will hit it. Now women are giving out their number far too frequently, and it doesn't really mean as much. It's still less of a guarantee between all of the ghosting and stuff like that. So it's like you don't even get excited about getting a woman's number anymore. You know.
Yeah.
I never cold approach. For me is I need to know that the girl likes me before I even come up to her in the first place. So if she's not giving me any looks or any signs, I don't even waste my time. And actually, for me, that's been a great thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think a lot of men are, particularly young men, are looking for choosing signals.
Yes.
That's crazy. Because I've even seen guys like staring at me hard, but they won't say anything. They will be. I had a guy stare at me, walk from the store to my car, and not say a word. And I can see him staring at me. I felt him staring at me. And I kind of looked at him, and he's just looking. I'm like, you guys don't say anything anymore? Just look.
I mean,
like, it's weird.
Were you feeling him? Were you feeling him back?
Not really.
Well, that's the point. See, we know you're a nice person, but he doesn't know.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know how to feel about it though, because I'm used to guys like, you know, saying things, to me, but now it's like they're not saying anything, they're just looking. So it's just weird.
Yeah,
I don't
staring
know.
at your dress because it's see-through. Talking about she's
Yeah,
lesbian. Talking about she's lesbian, but me too.
I love that song. Yeah, but it's like guys, I don't know. You guys just don't cold approach anymore.
Melody.
Yeah, so I have noticed that, and this is from asking women, that it is down. That cold approaching is down.
Yeah.
I salute the fellas for not being as thirsty. It's nothing work. Like I remember seeing one time, I'll never forget. It was like a group of nagagas, and it was these two chicks. One of them, they both were black, but one of them had like dyed red hair, and the dudes was saying stuff like, "Hey, redhead, hey, redhead." So one of them was saying something to the chick walking across the street, and she ignored him. And then the dude right next to him said the exact same thing. Hey, redhead. And I was thinking, like, she just ignored the last dude.
That's
He,
embarrassing.
he
It was like
truly.
four dudes that did that. I was like, and they were in the same group of the Gagas together. I was like, what's going on? Do you think she's gonna be like, ooh, this one said A? You think what were you thinking? And none of them hit on the other chick who was slightly less hot. It was strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't get about these like these coaches on the internet talk about this game shit. My bad if I curse, but this
Okay.
game stuff they be talking about. Like for me, if the girl doesn't like you at all, there's nothing you can say or do to get her to actually like you back. So I don't waste my time if a girl's not feeling me right then and there. Like I don't waste my time. But
But at
those guys
least
you talk about
try.
wasting their time.
You can at least try, like, at least try to
Well,
shoot
Well,
your shot.
that's a
Well,
losing battle. Just going there
exactly.
and trying.
and what you're doing is you're contributed to an already overinflated ego.
Right.
But let me say this though. Do you guys expect, because that's a man's role to come
Be
on to a
careful,
woman.
Melody. Be
No,
careful.
no, I'm
That
just,
we live in a new world now. You can't say that.
I guess.
I'm playing with you. Go ahead.
No, but you're right. The world we live in now is like you can't say certain things. But yeah, a man's role is to approach the woman. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. But today's world seems different about it.
But now you guys are looking for the woman to approach you now. That's weird.
Nah, you don't gotta approach. I'm saying
No.
like I need to know that you like me. Like do something. Like I'm not gonna just like walk up to a random girl just because I like the way she look and then try to get her number. Like I need to know she likes me back physically or whatever before I even go up to her. That's
Uh,
me.
why don't
I'm
you
still
just
I
try
doing
to
would.
have a
approaching.
conversation? Like, oh hey,
I would.
hello, nice day, or
Well,
try to start a
how I
conversation.
present myself, I'm like, excuse me, miss, I'm sorry to bother you. And so one woman told me, get away from me, dweeb.
Damn.
Sweet.
And you know how I was dressed? I had a Tom Ford on.
All right. So
Oh
I'm
my
be honest,
god.
classy. That stuff like that did happen to me in the past, and what I do is I clown back and I dig deep and hard when I do, you know. Um, and I know it seems like you can't insult somebody after you just tried to get into their panties, but I figure out a way and I do it anyway. I am vicious. Y'all think I'm bad on YouTube? I am horrible in real life.
So give us an example of something you said
Well, I
to a
can't do it
woman.
without cursing. Do I
Well,
have your permission?
you have my permission, but instead of F, say fucking. Remember, fucking.
Oh God, this new
Nah,
word.
I say, bitch, I will buck anything. Be happy I don't have any taste. Do you realize that? Do you realize that I talk to you because you the closest bitch to me? I don't give a fuck about you. I have no standards, and you should be happy that I do it. You think you doing something spectacular? It means that you got at least one titty and a pussy. That is the reason that I'm talking to you. Be happy, you ugly bitch.
Wow, you really go that hard?
Yeah, I do. But why does she call Classy a dweeb? And I tell you, I tell you, Classy, if you the homie and we kick it, I would do the same thing for you. Like I kid you not, because when chicks do something to the homie, like there was this one chick who refused to dance with my partner. This was in LA. For whatever reason, she just wasn't feeling this dude at all. And I was like, how come you don't want to dance with him? She was like, because. And she gave like a stank look. I was like, well, will you dance with me? And she said, yeah. And I did, you know, the Carlton Banks?
Ah,
No, you're
Yeah,
such a nerd.
fuck her. Like I can't stand when chicks did. Like I do that. Even look, even even this cab driver in the Dominican, right? Um, I was telling this chick I was talking to get some of her friends and bring them back to the villa to meet up with my friends. Now the
Hmm.
problem was that they came back with not enough girls at the time, and she said that her cousin and her two friends were on the way, and we had like this cab driver that chauffeured us around everywhere, and and he dropped her back off at the bus station to wait for her cousin and her friends. And then the cab driver came and said, "Hey, you know what's wrong with that girl? You know she's rude, she's mean, and this and this." I was just like, "All right, then fuck those bitches." He was like, "You serious?" Yeah, I was like, "Yeah." You know, I'm not gonna. I mean, you with me, you my people, so I'm not gonna let her disrespect you because you driving a cab and she feels like she got some balling American dudes. Fuck her or buck her. You know,
Hmm.
across the,
Wow.
I cannot stand like a disrespectful chick.
I've actually
Yeah,
had my
neither.
moments with chicks like that as well. I've had my moments, so I just kind of like at this point I'm just kind of nodding my head like it's all good.
Well, let me hear some of these stories. Well, let me tell you one of my stories. I got hit with a snowball.
Oh damn.
Ha! We don't
Like,
have those here. What happened?
I was younger, I was in high school, and some guy was trying to talk to me, and I ignored him. It was snowing, I was cold, I wanted to get home, and he hit me with the hardest, iciest snowball in the back of my head. And that kind of humbled me, like, well, damn, let me stop being rude. Maybe I should speak, like, like, hi, you know what I mean? And since then, I've always, when somebody say something to me, I would at least say hello or speak, and I would just keep moving. But that really did humble me. Like, damn, like me being rude caused me to get smacked in the back of the head with a snowball. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I don't require a chick's number, but I do expect a reasonable amount of respect. I do appreciate that. Like it's no need to call me dweeb. I know I'm a dweeb. And I know I'm a nerd too, you know. And if that's not your cup of tea, then just keep crap like that.
Just keep it pushing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to go with the assaults. Like you don't have to go with the insults. Like just past the whole dweeb conversation. Just trying to talk to a woman. Some women can take it too far. Just say you're not interested. Some women will just, oh, you ever get the hell? I'm like, well, damn. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Have a good
I,
day.
I do
ugly.
have a quick story, real quick.
Okay,
When I was in Ghana, I forgot to say this, but
mm,
I was talking to this guy, and then this American girl. She walked up. It was a black woman. She back. I could tell she was American, but she was walking towards a bus, and the Ghanaiese guy said good morning to her, and she gave him a stank face. And I watched that, and then another Ghanaiese woman was walking by. He said good morning to her. She said good morning back and smiled at him, and it's just like common shit. Like you shouldn't just be rude just because like a guy's talking to you. But that's
yeah.
all I want to say.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
I
Uh,
can't stand the rudeness. You
Well,
go.
yeah.
Big J, hi. Before I get to you, let me just read this super chat. Thank you, Childhound Life on a Budget, for the $50 super chat. I really appreciate the heavy-handed super chat. He said, "Sup, Melody? Sup, panel? Hi, come up here. I miss Childhound. I haven't seen him in like so long. Let me
Uh,
put this.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm gonna just drop the link for Childhound. Go ahead, Big J.
So, I'm wondering if I'm late. I hope I'm not late. So, is this about no vote, no fucking, or something like that?
Yes.
Vucking,
No
yeah.
vucking.
No. Okay. Do y'all think though that's counterproductive?
As far as produce, and you mean like producing votes?
Um, the premise. I mean, do y'all believe the premise is counterproductive or not?
Well, it's definitely not producing anything. I don't know if it's an insult to the general intelligence of the audience. But as far as production goes, I mean, if they're trying to produce votes for the Democratic Party, I don't think that it will like stop it, or maybe it will. Maybe people will be insulted by the intelligence, and you're right, it's not producing votes for that particular party. But I don't think that it will stagnate or.
You know, I think the problem with slogans like that and that type of um, attitude, I think there's more issues that affects people, black people particularly, instead of just one issue or a couple of issues. I think that you know, we live in America and and there's there's can't pronounce words right
Variety.
today. A variety, yeah. Thank you. I don't know why my mind ain't clicking all sense, but words today.
We all have those.
Variety,
It's okay. I
yeah,
had those moments yesterday. It's
right,
all
right.
right.
I don't understand what's going on. Variety of issues. So, by saying, but telling men, not to have sex for votes. I mean, it's I don't know because the thing is though, a woman is going to laugh at men not giving up the D. So
Mhm.
women going to have toys. So or and since lesbianism is now, since a lot of women are more and more bisexual and bi-curious, um they can find sex anywhere they want,
Mhm.
and without being judged. So I think the whole issue is no vote, no fuck is very um I don't know, it's just like
It's
taking,
crazy.
yeah,
It
it's
is.
kind of, yeah, it sound crazy because these women they don't care if you ain't gonna give them a D. That's more for Pookie. That's more for Ray Ray over there. That's more for um the women, the butch over there. I mean,
Exactly.
so
You
I
got
that's counterproductive if you
you
ask me.
you got a situation here where you got Stacey Abrams getting on TV in the news because I watched this mess, and she's trying to tell okay, first time she ever reached out to the men to vote. She ain't never reached out to the men, always to the women. Then his sister on Fox Soul gets on and said, "Hey, you all got to get with your women because your women votes right, so they know what to do. You get with them and vote where they vote because they know what they're talking about, what they're doing, and see what the situation is going to be is." If these brothers, especially the ones that are married and got to live in women and all that, that's voting this way, if they decide they want to try to vote in another direction, here they're encouraging the sister to put the pressure on them with, you know, happy wife, happy home, and all that shit. And the problem's going to be this: some of them are going to use that, and you're going to see some problems in some of these relationships pop up, whether marriage or live-ins. But see, a lot of the brothers are turning around and they say, "Look, we've been voting this way for so long, and what do we have? It's gotten worse and worse for us." So I understand why the brothers is breaking away because
Mhm.
this wasn't benefiting us; it was benefiting the women totally, and the
Mhm.
laws were made to benefit the women totally. So the men get screwed overall. So the way the D party works is they're going to listen to the women, and they're going to try to cater to the women to a certain degree, But at the same time, they're screwing everybody. Even the
But
women can't even see how they're getting screwed around. They blind and just blindly just going after who they being told to vote for. And they watching these TVs, they're watching these shows, the um, the View and all the rest of this crap, and they whatever they say on there, then the sister said this, or Whoopi said this, or so on and so forth, or the sisters don't yeah, they got it going on. They're saying this, and they're gonna follow what they say, a lot of them.
Yep.
Which is stupid because this tells you how this particular situation with the media is, because look, you got housewives of so and so and housewives of this and housewives of that, and look how they portray us overall. And the women on top of that, the women do not realize them talking about, hey, this is going on, this here is going on, so and so. Did you see how so and so girl? Yeah, she got in this so and so. So that makes them look bad, but they don't see it because it's being perpetuated in the media through these shows. So in turn, when they start talking about, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, the sisters is watching all of this, just taking all of this in, and they just following right behind it blindly. They get put in a situation they don't even see. They can't even see it. And the only way they're gonna really see what's going on here is by the men breaking away. And a lot of them are starting to do that. And they're getting mad because, especially when you talk about the passport part, they trying to downgrade. Oh, them women you degrade them and they're poor and all this. Now, a lot of them women, I've communicated with some overseas already. Some of them got businesses and jobs. They're not poor. Not all of them. Maybe some, but not all of them. No.
But aren't you being a little bit cavalier with the narrative? Because yeah, I get everything what you just said, right? But you never address what's on the other side, though.
When you say what's on the other side, what do you mean?
Like your argument is basically on what you see as a man, as one person, but you fail to see what the reason why they're voting for that particular candidate or party.
No, I'm telling you, because a lot of them being told what to do. I'm telling you what's happening. A lot of them being told what to do. When you get Stacey Abrams up there and talking the way she's talking, and you look back how she talked in the past up until now, realizing the brothers are breaking off, she's trying to reach out to them. She's the only sister actually trying to reach out. But the other sister on Fox Soul, she was like, no, you can't break away. See, there's an attack that's being set up. It's 2 to 3 prong because the brothers are breaking away. And the brothers breaking away because this is a fact. I'm speaking of fact because of the way things have been set up.
Okay. Then how come? You seem to me like the only remedy is the passport. The remedy is SYSBM. The remedy is get a white woman. When
I didn't say get a white woman. I didn't say get a white woman. You could get women of color with a passport. I didn't say white woman. That's your assumption.
Hold on.
I didn't say that.
I ain't say I'm making a general statement. I ain't just saying to you, but I'm making a general statement. So the thing is though, so how is that going to solve black men's problems or men's in general's problems when for us black men having or being incarcerated, black men not being not being educated, being miseducated. How is that going to solve? It seems like everything is based upon sexual preferences or sex around relationships, and not about policy. And black men have not produced any policy or an alternative to Stacey Abrams.
Well, the whole thing is, if you look at how the power structure is set up, I can tell you about even here in Los Angeles because of what's going on here. When you got some people in corruption, they're being busted out. So, I mean, they're going to use that against the brother Mark, which he sort of fell on the sword for his son in the council seat, and other issues that's taken up. And then they bring it in. It's the other sister that was going to run for mayor. She's being pulled into it because she's been back in Church of Scientology and all this other stuff that comes up. There's a door that opened up where a lot of these black leaders are now being exposed. These are Democrats now. They're being exposed, say, for instance, in the things that the white leaders do, that they sort of sweep under the rug. Some of these things now are coming up where the black leaders are getting caught up in some of the same things, and they're pointing the fingers more so at them than they are at the whites. But at the same token, when you're talking about the policies, it's the policies that's got the brothers in the situation they're in now. Say, for instance, with the divorces and
that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying what policy you have, what policies that people.
Well, it's going to be hard because in some cases I had to say this my own self. Some cases we talk about the sisters, some of them are lost cause. It's a done deal.
No, I'm not talking about the sisters. I'm talking about what policy do black men have?
A lot of black men are not looking at so much as policy as they want to be treated right. That's what they're looking at. They're going to where they're going to be treated right and appreciated.
Well,
the hell with a policy is how the men are being treated.
Well, wait a minute.
So anytime you go somewhere where you get kicked in your ass, you gonna still stay around and get kicked in the ass? You gonna hang around even if you try to go backwards and try to help and try to reach out. A lot of brothers have done this and still get kicked in the ass. You're gonna hang around and try to make something work when you've been get kicked in the ass a lot.
But child, how? Okay, but then the premise is based upon feelings and not on creation.
I'm speaking on experience. You got premise, creation. I'm speaking experience. Experience is what got a lot of these brothers going in the direction they're going in because of what they have experienced and what they went through, and they don't want to go through these problems and these hassles. So they're going into an easier direction where they are appreciated. There's nothing more I can say about that. Policy is whatever the policy is going to be. It's going to be what it is, but people are going to go where they're treated right. The hell with what a policy going to be. The hell with what a policy going to be, because when you have people that try to help or try to do the right thing and still get screwed, they're going to say, hell with any kind of policy. I got to go where it's going to be easy for me to live and appreciate life.
Wait a minute. So based on your premise, let's talk about your premise. So you saying, well, it doesn't matter what the policy is, long as I get a good life, right? That is your premise, right?
Being treated right.
Okay,
I said being treated right.
Right. Then how can a black boy go and be treated right when he's being miseducated? How is a black teenager is going to be treated right when he has no employment? When there are laws that's affecting his employment and taxes and all of that.
But see that the problem there is they are not taught to be self-sufficient. That's the big problem, because in the beginning we were self-sufficient. When we started becoming dependent on others for our education, for our business or jobs, that's when things changed. I'm working in the family business.
Then by saying that, then therefore what you just said, then like you just said contradicts what you just said earlier, because you said
no, it doesn't contradict. No, it doesn't contradict. No, it doesn't contradict.
You said policy doesn't matter. Your feelings does.
I didn't say that. I didn't say feelings. See, you putting words in my. I did not say feelings.
But
I didn't even bring feelings. I did not say feelings.
But child, did though you said you want to be treated right?
Wanted to be treated right does not have anything to do with feelings. Wanting to be treated right.
But that is a feeling / emotional argument, though.
You can say it's a feeling, emotional argument. I can say it's practical. I can say it's a practical argument.
Then
that's what I can say.
Hold on. Then how is going to be a practical argument when you don't have a set of policies that help black men out, black boys out?
Well, see, this is the thing. I'm gonna tell you something. 5 years I reached out in the community to help. 5 years I worked with gang members. I worked with homeless people. I worked with children. I went into the school system and even taught. But I found that when I was trying to do the right thing and bring the right information, I got stopped. Because when you start speaking the truth, start bringing a real education in, especially in unified the way I did, oh, this gets stopped. And the principal comes in and they're watching every word I'm saying in the class. And what happens is I had to censor myself. And when I really realized it in the end, they didn't really care about the kids. They didn't really care about the right education because what they're doing is get paid per child that steps in that classroom, whether they pass or not. They move them on because they get paid by the head, by the numbers. That's how the school
Okay.
systems make their money.
Are you familiar with a guy named I forgot his name, Richard Barrows? I think though he was running for mayor of Boston last year.
No,
Are
I'm
you?
not. No, I'm not familiar because I'm dealing with LA. I dealt with LA politics.
Wait a minute. But wait a minute. You said though you're dealing with LA politics, but yet though you're speaking on Georgian politics. Make that make sense.
What you
And,
mean,
and
Georgia? I'm not. I'm speaking of my experience and what I went through in LA
no,
Unified.
but hold on. But you just said you were speaking on Stacey Abrams, and Stacey Abrams is running for the state, running.
Because she sat on news this week and spoke, and I was watching that and what she said, and how
Then what?
she
Then what?
changed.
Then
She's
what?
stepping out to try to reach out to the brothers because she never really did that before because they're losing the brothers in the voting range. They're
Yeah, but,
losing them. They're
yeah, but
going to
what?
the Republicans.
No, they're not. They're not voting
Yes,
at
they
all.
are. Yes,
They-
they
they-
are. Yes,
They're
they
not
are.
voting at all. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing,
Some of them are not, but there's a number of them I know that's going Republican. There's a number of them. Even in my neighborhood, I've been in the neighborhood of staunch Democrat, and I'm in the neighborhood with people making over six figures. And the whole thing is, when they looked at what was going on with their monies and stuff, they flipped over. They said, "I can't believe this bullshit. I don't. You voted it. You voted for it. You talked about the orange man being bad and this and that. I try to tell y'all." But they voted and they see what the fuck done happened. Now everybody over here is flipping over to the Republican Party.
wait a minute.
I
Wait a
got
minute.
neighbors
Wait a
that's
minute. Hold,
flipping
hold,
because
hold, hold on. Child.
this is because it's fucking with
Hold
their
on,
money.
child.
They
Hold on.
fucking with they retirement, their 401k, a lot of stuff, a lot of money's been screwed with. And that's what I said, when I vote for my business. That's what I told my own sisters.
Child how? Okay. So going by what you just said, using Stacey Abrams, right? Okay,
Because of what she stated.
Wait a minute. Stacey Abrams is losing, right? In the polls.
Right.
But if you look at, and she's run for governor, right? But if you look into the U.S. Senate election, which is also another statewide election, it's the opposite because old boy, what's his name? The incumbent senator, he's a Democrat and he's winning. He's about 5 points ahead. So how can you?
I wasn't speaking on him. I'm speaking on Stacey. This is what I'm speaking on. No, ain't no, because I spoke on Abrams speaking on the brothers peeling off.
Hold on.
I stated, yes, I did, because I said it because Stacey reached out. Stacey reaching out to the brothers when she didn't do it before. This is what the whole point was being made.
Hold on, you made it into a Democrat-Republican argument. So how can you make
basically because you got people flipping? You got people flipping from Democrat to Republican.
Yeah. Then how come though the U.S. Senate election, the Democrats winning in the gubernatorial election, is the opposite. So like,
I can't give you an answer on because I wasn't focusing on that point.
Well, like
the only point. See, when I make my points, I'm specifically targeting one specific area that I make my point on, and I'm not looking at the other areas. What I spoke was Stacey was reaching out to the brothers because the brothers were peeling off from the vote in the Democrat, especially for her. Now, that's what I was speaking on. Then I spoke on the sister on Spock's Soul that was trying to tell the brother, you need to get with your women and to follow the sisters and vote. This can be all of this.
That was CBS. That was CBS.
Okay, well, CBS. Well, I got it mixed up, but I saw it when she spoke on it. But still,
are you referring to Ashley Cross? You referring to Ashley Cross, right?
If that's who it was that was speaking, I got a glimpse of it. And I was watching it because they showed a part of that, and she was talking about you should vote for what your women do. Basically, she was telling the brothers to follow behind your women and all, and they know what they're doing. They know who they're voting for. Vote with them, and so on and so forth. Don't be breaking off. But it is what's happening is what's happening. Because they even she didn't want to address the passport issue, but basically this is something that would have led into it, but that's not what the subject was. The subject matter wasn't involved in the passport. It was just involving the brothers peeling off.
And
Because
you
a lot
see,
of brothers are peeling off from the Democratic Party now. A lot of them are. A
yeah,
lot of
but
them are.
what does it have to do with sex? What does
Well, I
voting
didn't
have to
bring
do with
sex.
sex?
I didn't bring sex into this conversation. Now, if you brought sex into it, that's fine.
No, I mean,
But what I
the
but
topic
see, I
was
didn't bring sex up. I didn't. I
no,
wasn't
no.
talking about sex.
The topic was no voting, no fucking. That
Well,
was the
basically,
topic.
see, that's when okay, all right. Now,
That was the premise of my argument, though.
okay, with the premise of your argument there, it still has weight what I said, because when it comes to the brothers and the sisters, as the sister was stating, and this is what I was mentioning. I did mention this part. She was influencing the women and telling the brothers, you need to vote with them, which would create a situation within those households where they're living together or they're married, where it will be some dissension if the brothers vote other than way the woman should vote, because of the way they're being told to vote.
Yeah, but historically, men vote less than women. That's been historically. There's evidence historically women vote more than men.
That's maybe that's very well true and all. That's true. But I'll tell you this, in this certain situation, men have been reaching out and voting more in the past few elections they normally have been. And this is the reason why they're reaching out. Because they realize, the brothers realize, hey, y'all just ignoring the fuck out of us. And whatever the women say, that's what they're going. So now they're actually pressing the women, especially if there's husbands or boyfriends or live-ins involved. They're pressuring them to say, hey, bring them on board so he can vote, and vote in the direction that you vote in, because they already know they got those women votes. They got their vote already. So what they're trying to do is stop the bleeding, because the men are men that hadn't been voting. There's people I know that wasn't normally voting. They were so pissed off, they started voting. They started voting. I know some brothers that are married that decided to, they've been Democratic, turn around, flip, went Republican, and started voting that way since.
Okay, well. Anyway, before I leave, I gotta address something. Really, I gotta address this because adult supervision says the Constitution secures the right to happiness. I'm sorry, if you actually read the Constitution, it says the pursuit to happiness, not the right to happiness. See, you can't argue about the Constitution. You can't say though you pro Constitution when you never read the Constitution, because the Constitution never secures the right to happiness. It says you have the right to pursue your happiness.
A person's happiness is on their own. It's up to them to make themselves happy. You cannot depend on anybody else to make you happy. That's what that's another problem that's happening here. Some people feel that this person makes me happy. No. Because if they can make you happy, they could do something to make you sad or angry. So the whole point is, you're supposed to make yourself happy. You're supposed to be content in your own happiness, not dependent on or getting it from somebody else, because it's not going to last. You got to have it within your own self.
Well, granted, but do you think though sometimes a woman's company, her voice, her demeanor, sometimes her smile brightens the mood within a man?
When you have femininity in it, yes.
Well, yeah, then therefore, she can remove that happiness from you if she's not feminine.
If she's not feminine, you ain't supposed to be fucking with her to begin with if you want somebody feminine. Now, if you're happy with somebody that's masculine, well, deal with the bump in the heads, because that's basically, in some aspects, is going to happen unless you're a person that's a submissive man, a beta as they call it, or whatever. So that's how that argument will go if you want to get into that particular subject.
Well, maybe I'm gonna argue that the next time. But with Sweet Melody, thank you for having me on. I'm gonna jump off, and it's been like what, 9 months, 10 months I've been on here. So anyway, I'm gonna jump off of here. And adult supervision, you didn't paraphrase, you didn't study, you didn't do your scholarship about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all that mamma jamma. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.
Well, there you have it. Everybody's muted up. Come on now. Melody, Classy, Game Changer. I am not. Oh God. Hey, where y'all go? Oh boy. Hello. I can't believe this. Did y'all go to sleep? Man, I gotta jump off this panel. I can't. I don't know. I
I
wouldn't
wasn't
expect.
asleep. I was muted. I wasn't asleep. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you had. Well, Classy just jumped off because I'm saying hello, hello, hello.
No, no, no. I'm here. I'm so sorry about that.
I
No,
wasn't prepared to be a moderator here, so
no, no, no. I'm here. And GC said he was doing something. What were you saying?
I just got through. I guess the exchange I had with the other brother there, we got done. He jumped off, but I was bringing up the point about what Stacey Abrams is trying to do. We got done.
Oh,
He
Jayla, can
jumped
you
off, but I was bringing up the point.
go ahead, Jayla?
Okay, I was bringing up the point that Stacey Abrams reached out to the brothers because the
Mm-hmm.
brothers are peeling off. Now the other brother said I thought it was Fox Soul, but he said it was CBS. That the sister was on where she was talking about the men should get with their women and vote and stop peeling. Basically don't peel off and vote the way your women do because your women know how to where to vote and how to vote.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so the whole point is the brothers is breaking away, and a lot of them are going to voting more directly into the Republican Party. And see, I was explaining to the brother there, hey, it's messing a lot of people. The Democratic Party right now, the way this is running with this president, has messed a lot of people's money up. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people's money got messed up. And see, I even told my own sisters, I said, you all voting Democrat, you were voting against our own business.
Right.
They're not going to help us because we're in business. We're in that top 1%. Actually, the business is. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
you voting against it. I mean,
Yeah.
naturally, we'll keep going because our business is in renting these apartments that we have. But the thing
Right.
is, you gotta vote in a way that's gonna be beneficial to our business and the money instead of voting where it could actually do us damage. Now, basically, the old man used to teach us, hey, if anything, people need housing. You don't get into a business of people what they want. You get into what they need.
Right.
And so housing is something everybody needs a place to sleep, a place to have a roof over their head to get out the cold and the rain and all. I
Mm-hmm.
understand that. But the policies, on one hand, I can agree with voting Democrat because of the Section 8 programs that they have. But Trump even put more money into the Section 8 program, so it didn't make any difference whether it was Democrat or Republican.
Right.
And it seems to me there were some monies that were pulled with Biden being in. So they're pulling monies from different directions for the homeless, but a lot of this money wasn't going. A lot of money is not going to the homeless. And what they're doing in LA is they're taking apartment buildings away from the owners, and the city's becoming an owner. Something I would never thought I would see, but they're using code enforcement to take the buildings.
Right.
And what they do is, and I know this is getting off of the subject a little
No,
bit,
it's good. We all over
but
the place tonight. Hi.
yeah.
We
So
good.
the thing is, with Section 8, what they're doing is they pass a law where somebody comes to your door with Section 8, you cannot turn them down. You have to rent to them. What the
Oh, so
city has
everybody
done
gotta take it, no
in,
matter.
in LA, in the city of LA, that's the city of LA is doing that. See, anything they do in LA, New York is going to get it, and then the rest of the country is going to end up getting it because they start shit here in LA first. Then they do it as a test run, and if it works, it goes across the nation. That's
Mm,
that's what happens. What's done in California is what's going to lead the rest of the nation. That's
wow.
why you got this push for electric cars and all this other bullshit because they done started this shit here. and they're trying to push it all over the country.
Right.
Now
You
with
didn't
the
say
section,
it.
yeah, with the Section 8 now, what they're doing is they made a law. See, first they were going to try to use the veterans, and that was going to be the Trojan horse because they were going to say if you turn a veteran down with Section 8, the VA and the Department of Housing will get behind the vet, and he will sue the owner. A lot of
Mhm.
owners wouldn't be able to withstand a lawsuit like that
Right.
because they'll come after some millions. It ain't gonna be no 100,000, 200. They're gonna talk about a million too, somewhere around there, 1 to 2 or 3 million. A lot of owners don't have the insurance. They definitely lose their insurance after getting hit with something like this. They could lose the building also if they don't have enough deep pockets, something to back them up.
Right.
So what they did was they feathered that in a little bit where you couldn't turn down the veterans with that are homeless, but they turned around and said, okay, they found a way to make it citywide. I'm talking about just LA right now, citywide, where you cannot turn, if you say you got an apartment for rent and a person come and got Section 8, you can't turn them down.
Right.
But there's other requirements that you can have that you can really look at to see if this person can really afford it, whether they got Section 8 or not. Basically, they can have Section 8 and they're only getting like $900 a month. Now, look, this I know. Okay, we pay the water, but everybody has to pay their individual electricity. So, typical 1 bedroom apartment, you're going to spend about $80, $90 a month, somewhere around there, $80, $90 a month for electricity. If you get $900 a month, so you got like $180, $200 maybe an electric bill. You're talking about every 2 months, that'll add up to that. What about your food? Okay, if you get food stamps, that's fine. Then you got your gas bill, which I found living in the house, my gas bill sometimes $15, $17. When I was in an apartment, my gas bill was 60, 70, $80. That's some
Oh,
bullshit.
big difference.
There was a big difference. A big
Hmm.
difference. I don't know why, unless it's some kind of conservative thing, but there was a difference there. You got your regular phone bills, but most people don't even have a house phone no more. They got cell phones. But I would still suggest to have a house phone in case cell phones are out or a two-way radio.
Right.
So you got to look at that. And if the person's got them a little car because they be trying to give people cars on Section 8 and all that, they got a one, two, $300 car note. They got to pay insurance. There's a lot of little things you got to figure out. So that $900 is not going to last. Then they're
Mm-mm.
gonna want to go party and do other stuff with the 900. So if you got a person that's got to pay 70%, no, Section 8 pays 70%, they pay 30%, they got to pay $500 rent. So if they're paying $500 rent, and I'm talking about these other costs, that $900 ain't going. It's going nowhere. There's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
$500, 565, 535. That's going to be gone. That's going to take up most of your $900.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
now, Dane, I'm gonna say that I see this comment with Dane.
You want
Dane,
you
this
want
is
to
what I'm
read?
gonna tell you.
You want to read it before you address it?
Okay, there's a lot of greed ass landlords raising rents by hundreds of dollars on their tenants, even though they always pay on time out of greed. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Not all landlords are like that. I'm gonna tell you how we are. The city of Los Angeles is where we were forced to raise the rents. And I'm gonna tell you why. For 10 years, we did not raise our rents. For 10 years, when they came in with the code enforcement, we had an attorney that set case law. He did constitutional law, basically constitutional cases. He'd go to the Supreme Court. We had a damn good attorney. He's ran out of business now because of COVID.
Okay.
But this attorney wrote case law. He's got case law on the books here in the state of California. And the judges, they all knew him. I'm not going to say his name, but everybody knew him downtown. He was known in California. So when this started, my pops mentioned to him, he said, hey, this is what we got going on here. He says, give me $30,000 and I can start this case and I can beat this case. He said, if you don't want to do it by yourself, then get some of the other landlords because right now I can beat this. But if you let this get embedded, there's nothing we can do. He didn't listen. He didn't want to spend the money. He didn't want to get with the other landlords. So fast forward 15 years later, we get hit with code enforcement fees, skip payments, so on and so forth. What happened? LA came in and they started forcing us to pay money per apartment per tenant, not just the registration on rental, but code enforcement. There's 4 fees you have to pay, 3 of them on one paper and another one on another paper. And they said, okay, we'll allow you to raise the rent 4%. So they made us pay this money and told us the tenants had to recoup the money. So that forced us to raise the rent. That's what happened here in Los Angeles. We were forced to raise the rent because the code enforcement, the city of Los Angeles, the Department of Housing of Los Angeles wanted this money. Now they have collected billions of dollars. You can't even get them. You can't stop this. The monster is Godzilla now, and you can't stop him.
Right.
And the tenants complained about this. And I told the tenants, I said, hey, you wanted the rents to go a certain way. You wanted code enforcement to come in. I fixed everything up. I put in new floors. I put in new panels, new cabinets, new sinks, new toilets, even stoves and fridge. You wanted all this new stuff. This is what code enforcement made us do. So because they did this and you called and complained, they came out with us and forced us to pay these fees and said we could pass it on to the tenants because this is supposed to affect the quality of life for the tenants, which it does.
Right.
And it made me, the old man started understanding it. It made me turn around and say, look, I'll just put everything brand new in the apartment. Everybody was pissed at me for spending the money, but guess what? Our inspections started passing.
Right.
And fast forward to current situation now, we had eviction moratoriums. Everybody, we the only city in the country that still has eviction moratoriums. That's supposed to end. It's supposed to end the 1st of January, and we
What is
still
that?
got
You said eviction what? I'm sorry.
moratoriums. We can't evict nobody.
Okay.
See, remember they started that, and then they ended up stopping it. A lot of cities went to court, and the Supreme Court gave them the cases they won. Well, our people in our city went and they said we don't want to hear it. So I knew that was a setup situation. I was pissed. I said the Supreme Court's supposed to be non-biased, but instead of saying anything about it, they didn't want to. They refused to see it because they would have forced LA's hand.
Right.
So since LA dodged the bullet, that has something to do with Pelosi and Newsom. Newsom's Pelosi's nephew. I'm talking about the governor of California here. So what ended up happening was we took a loss. So they said we got to figure this thing out another way. So they was trying to build up another case. So in the meantime, these people that Garcetti, which is the mayor of LA right now, turned around and told people we didn't have to. In the beginning of COVID, they said you don't have to pay the rent. That was bullshit. Then he tried to clean it up. I said that's not going to work, because once people hear that you don't have to pay rent, that's the first thing they're going to hear, and they're not going to hear anything else, and they stop paying the rent. A lot of people.
Yeah.
So all the COVID assistance money and the unemployment and the PPP, they got all this money, but did they pay rent? People had $40, $50, $60, $70,000 and wouldn't pay rent.
Exactly. Then they had the stimulus checks. They had all types of grants
Right.
that was given to them. They didn't want to pay
Right.
rent. Yeah.
So
I know
I
that.
went around to the buildings and they know me. Our tenants, I said, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not making no threats to anything, but I'm making a promise. I say, y'all could not pay your rent, but I am not letting nobody slide. When the time come, I'm dropping a hammer on everybody. And when they know me, because I would do eviction in a minute. If somebody stepped out of line, didn't pay no rent, or did whatever, or broke any of the rules and the housing rules and regulations, I'll throw them out. I'll take them to court and I have them evicted.
As you should.
So they knew that. So a lot of the tenants started paying. They started trying to get caught up, but the other ones just wasn't paying. They was trying to make every excuse. I'm seeing people pop up with Range Rovers and Mercedes and Cadillacs. I mean, they were coming up with all kind of new cars. And I'm looking at them. I said, okay, so you went and bought a car instead of pay your rent. But just remember, when it's time, I'm gonna remember all of this.
Yeah.
So they plead the case. So the city actually stepped in and said, we got some governmental money. We can pay these people's rent. So everybody didn't pay the rent. I say, look, fill these papers out. But some of the people didn't want to fill the paperwork out because what's happening with the people with the PPP loans,
Hmm.
they getting busted. If they had filled out this assistance money, especially the ones that had a job working for the city, they would have got busted and they would have went to jail.
Hmm.
So what some of them did was they packed up and moved right on out because they were getting ready to get busted. Because I was pressing them and said, why don't you pay the rent?
Oh,
So what ended up happening with that situation was some of the people moved out and a couple of them still stayed in, but I'm just waiting. I said the ones that's the worst ones will be the first ones I'm going after. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm a very, very, very fair landlord. Very more than fair. I really reached out and tried to help a lot of people. But I saw I got kicked in the ass many a times. The old man told me that. He said you can only help so many people, you can only do so much, but you're gonna have a time where you're gonna get kicked in the ass. And you just got to roll with the punches and keep going. You can't let that get upset. Business is business. You got to run it like a business. You got to have an attitude like a business person. So the whole thing is your emotions you keep in check because
right.
people could piss you off, but your head's got to be level because you still got to run this business. And it took me a minute to get that, but I got it. And I can walk in and smile. I could be pissed off, but I can walk in and smile and have control of my emotions. And the person won't even know I'm angry.
Right.
And
And
thus I don't make decisions by emotions.
good
I
thing you
make
don't.
decisions on what's practical to the situation.
Right. And good thing you don't, because a lot of people do, you know. But
So
real quick before
the
you finish, I just want to
okay,
say thank you, Dane C, for that $5 super chat. I'm gonna read it one more time. He says there's a lot of greed as landlords raising rent by hundreds of dollars on their tenants, even though they always pay on time out of greed. Shaking my damn head. Thank you once again for that super chat. I appreciate it. Um, so you can finish up and then we're gonna get to J Lock because he was waiting. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. So anyway, well, I can say more about the housing situation, but the one thing I'm gonna say that took place here also is the city has went after the landlords to take the properties, and the city are owning the properties now, and they're renting to the homeless people. They set them up. They set them up with Section 8, and then they're paying. So it's like they're paying themselves, really. It's the craziest shit I
Mhm.
ever seen. But when Newsom said we acquire apartments, he said we. I noticed he said we. So he done came down here and get hooked up with Garcetti, and they're taking the buildings, and somehow they're getting money put in their pockets. And from my understanding, I heard a rumor that said he's coming into ownership of some properties down here through this issue of them taking the properties. This is how they do this. Okay, they're going to do a inspection, code enforcement inspection. You get written up. The average mom and pop, like one of the things they did is made a requirement that you had to have these safety valves on these water heaters, especially if they're individual in each apartment. Talking about the person's hands going to burn, you have to have an overflow tank, so on and so forth. So that means we had to redo a lot of the individual water tanks, as well as we were doing the wall heaters also. So we had to add these apparatuses to it, which you had to spend. Some of these had to be brand new water heaters, which would come out to 13, 14, 15, 16, $1,800 a piece per apartment. So we had to put these in. It had to be by a licensed plumber. So the average person that owns property is not going to have the deep pockets. So what ends up happening is they can't afford to fix the apartment. They're trying to get a loan to fix the apartment. This is the wrong time, especially if you already got into some of your equity trying to get into it more is it could be problematic, especially around this time when this is being done. And when you can't afford it, they go through the second inspection and they fail you. So what happens? They'll go say, "We give you an extension, 30 days or 45 days." You go back, and if you still haven't gotten everything done, that's when the building goes into REAP. When the building goes into REAP, the city takes the building. What they do is they set an escrow account up, and they'll tell the tenants like, "Oh, you only have to pay 40, 50, 60% of your rent. Don't pay the full rent. You only have to pay 40, 50, 60%." So the landlord is not getting the monies for that building. It's going into escrow account that's being held by the city. So what happens is while you losing your money, you can't make your note on your building. If that's what you were relying on, you couldn't get a loan. So eventually you're gonna end up losing the building and REIT. So what the city does from there, they tell the bank, they say, okay, how much money is owed on this building? Oh, this building like 200 some thousand. The city will turn around and say, I tell you what, we'll give you 100,000. Say, take it or leave it, because we'll leave the building tied up in REAP and you won't get any money and it'll just be tied up in REAP. So what happens? The banks give in and they take the lower amount of money. In some other cases, they went on ahead and used eminent domain to take the buildings. So, that's some foul stuff, but that's what is happening here in Los Angeles. And trust me, if they're successful with doing this, this is going to come to a city near you. If they could become, if nobody challenges this is going to be done in a lot of cities, because there's some greed when it comes to politicians to be able to really, really get into the landlord business, which they really, some of them are in it already, but the government's not supposed to be in that business. They're supposed to be the business of supplying the funding for housing, not taking it over and running it. It's almost like they're starting the projects all over again in a sense. But I'll give up the mic.
No, thanks for that. That was, yeah, that was great. I didn't know a lot of the stuff you were saying. How about you, J-Lock? You there, J-Lock?
Well, I'm here. What was the
Hey,
question? What was the question?
what's going on? You have anything to say about what Chowhound was saying or the topic or anything?
Uh, well, first of all, welcome back, Melody.
Thank
Uh,
you.
back.
I'm
It's
so
been a
happy
long
to have you
time.
guys here. I miss you guys.
I was. You miss me. We miss you in movie night. What's going on with that? What's going
Oh,
on
I'll
with
be back Thursday on movie night. I miss you guys a lot, so I'll be there.
that? Oh, we out there. We out there. But
Hey, we
what?
should watch the movie Prey, because it's got some issues in it that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
what was it?
Yeah, it's a predator, but I don't want to give up this. It's when a woman wants to be like a man in a sense.
Oh,
It's
okay. Well,
interesting.
we definitely got to see that. You hear that, GC?
GC probably doing something in the background.
Yeah, he said he
But
was
Prey, that
busy.
movie there is. I'll say this: it's good with the times, considering they went back into the early days here in the country with the French coming in and the Indians being here, the Native
Hmm.
Americans. But it's a female that challenges the men, and she feels that she could do everything a man could do. So that's something that's probably has happened back then, but it's indicative of how things are today.
Yeah, it's probably based
Women
on the
want to
true
be equal to
stories.
men.
Right. And when did that
So,
come out?
but it came out about a couple of months ago.
Okay.
It's on I think it's on Hulu.
It's on
See,
Hulu. Yeah,
Amazon or Hulu, one of the two.
it's on Hulu. It's on Hulu, child.
Oh, you
Yeah.
saw it too, J-Lock?
Yeah, yeah, I seen it.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe we could watch that.
Mm-hmm. So how's your one of your dogs on? Uh,
Hmm?
your dogs.
My dogs, they're good. I never found the other one. You talking about my other
Yeah, I know
dog?
about those, bro. Yeah, yeah, I know
Yeah,
about that.
I never found my dog, unfortunately. But
Mm.
yeah,
But
never
but but
found him.
but that guy, Big J, that's an old fool right there, man. And the job, he knows that all the guys are going for the Republican. That's all. He just wanted to start and stuff. Look, he knows what's going on. That's an old. This is the old fool talking. That's the old fool talk. That was just like he knows. He was trying to get something out of you, child. I'm glad you was shooting
You
stuff.
see, I wasn't. He's trying to twist me, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't let him twist me. He's
No, it was
trying
a
to
good
put words in my mouth.
conversation.
I said I made no comment of such. I stay because you all know how I talk. I talk in very general directions.
Yeah, man, I was like, oh, Big J. First thing come up, I was like, God damn, Big J. I was like, oh man, this man about to
No, but
act a
I like
fool.
the back and forth conversation. Like it's interesting, a
Yeah.
debate. You
What
know.
I'm gonna ask Melody. Let me ask you this:
Hmm.
what was your just? I'm curious. Was your observation of what you saw with the exchange between he and I?
I just was. I don't know. I was just listening to you guys going back and forth, but I do see your side more. Like I agree with you more than I did him.
Mm.
Because
But
I brought up a situation. See, I brought up that situation about the brothers leaving, and when he got into the other thing about the passport, I say, look, we can go into that too, but for practical purposes of what I'm speaking on, when you talk about the brothers leaving, hell, you would leave too, I guess, if you wasn't being treated right.
But guess what, though? I'm gonna tell you something. That's what you know who that is. He talking like that. And I'm gonna tell you who it is. And I don't want to name her, but it starts with last name with Red.
Oh
So
God, please
yeah,
no.
yeah,
It starts with an S.
yep. He in that camp.
Starts
He in
with
that
an
camp.
S. Well,
Yeah,
the
yep, yep,
people
yep,
on the
yep, yep,
panel,
yep, yep.
anybody even in the chat probably know who that is
Yep,
now.
yep, yep, yep,
They
yep.
don't
And
know
guess
who that
what?
is.
And guess what? They know who that is. And guess what? And she always talk about, y'all black men go with the white women. I went, what is up with y'all obsessed with these white women, man? That is a very low percentage. You know how much black brothers are not dating white women like that. The percentage is not. It's probably like
See,
20,
that's
23%,
that's the
something like
thing.
that. They obsessed with that bullshit,
But
man. She
see,
always
I
talk about this shit.
I never mentioned nothing about a white woman.
I know, but
I
he
mentioned
just started. He was
overseas,
like,
women overseas.
yeah, y'all going overseas to get a white woman. I was like, what?
I said,
This man is
what?
stupid.
That's why I said, when did I say? When did I say it was a white woman? I didn't say
That's what
what
I'm
color the
saying.
woman was.
He got that talking point from you know who. You know who. He got that talking point from. I
Shoot,
seen him talk. I
There's
seen
women
that
of color
shit,
in my
man.
queue also that I've been communicating with. So it don't it didn't make no difference.
Yeah,
I'm
because they
looking at who
always
will
say
treat.
that.
I'm looking at who would treat me right and respect and appreciate me.
He's
That's
like,
what I'm
what's the
looking for.
He like, what's the solution to the young black boy? I said, what the fuck? Is this had to do with anything? I said, I should have. You should have told him this. What's the solution for this single mother parents? Are these mamas out
That
here
would have been
getting
dragged
pregnant?
on. He would have dragged that on into a whole
He would
nother. He
drag
would have
that.
dragged that too.
He
So
wasn't, but
I was
it's
trying to stick, but see,
he was trying to pull that
I
bullshit.
was sticking and keeping it simple, stupid in
Yeah,
a
he was
certain
trying to.
direction. I wasn't letting
Man,
him pull me off of that. And
nah, I,
I've swayed a little bit here and there, yeah, but I swayed in directions that were still connected to what I
I
started
know,
out
but
talking about.
he was trying to lead you with some bullshit. That's why I was like, he was trying to like. Now, if we would have said, okay, so what about the young boys? The fathers is trying to fight for their rights for fatherhood, and the mothers are not letting them do it. And this is why the whole community is fucked up as it is right now. See, the thing is, you could blame the child, but the thing is, you gotta blame the person that uh what made the child that way, which is who? The parents, which is what? The mother.
See,
So
I'm gonna tell you
yeah,
something. I'm
we
gonna
gotta
say
try
this.
to say that
I'm
bullshit.
I'm gonna say this because I've watched and looked into this situation and had to deal with it myself.
Right,
It's not the kid's fault, but I'm gonna
right.
put a particular amount of blame on the parents
Yep,
because it's up to the parents to make sure that kids are getting the right education. Now, what I learned in working in LA Unified was you can't tell the true history because they'll come after you on that one. I ended up after 5 years leaving because
Yeah,
when I started talking about the history of religion and all that, it was not what was in their curriculum. And even when I took that class at USC, when I started researching what I was doing, what I was the history was coming up out of the books I was studying. The professor was like, "Oh, this is not on the syllabus. If you decide you want to write on this, and I'm telling you not to, he said, I'm gonna give you a fail. So you have to stick with what's on the syllabus." And that's when I saw that they were promoting the slavery shit all over the place. They promoted the slavery. The narrative of slavery, the way they promoted it, is not how everything happened. I started bringing up the evidence. I said, "You had me reading these books? No, you supposed to read this and this." I said, "But wait a minute, what about over this chapter here has this?" I didn't tell you to read that chapter, but I read it. That's the whole thing. I read it, and this is what it stated. How can you pick something out of the book and then not ignore what's the rest of it, which makes sense if you really look at the whole story? Well, we don't have to read the whole book. What you do is read the chapters we tell you to read, and you do what's in the syllabus. I lost that one. I lost that one because the professor wouldn't let up off of that. So, I mean, so when I try to do it in the school, one of the kids went back to the parents and say, "Oh, Mr. B said such, 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 such," and he showed us the books, and it was in the books, and he read it to us. And this, man, that boy's father came up there and was raising hell because it went against what he was teaching his son. Which I'm understanding. Okay, you teaching your son a certain thing, so that's what you want. But I'm sitting up here showing documented proof. But hey, who am I? I was just a counselor and teaching position and all that. So nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, the blind lead the blind. That's all they always raised is
Man,
blind
they
lead the
the way
blind.
they change the doggone curriculum now, dude. You can't. I always tell people if you can homeschool your children, homeschool them
That's
because
that's the best route. That's what everybody's saying, man. The education is fucked up, man. It's messed up
because
as it
they
is.
because of the
Look at
agenda
it.
of what they're teaching. Since when do you want to teach your kids about sexual relations in the kindergarten, the first and second grades? Come on,
Not
and what
no,
day,
not
what
only
month?
that, not only that, child. How
That's pretty
not
young.
only that, pronouns. You don't call your teacher her. God, call your teacher her slash him. She slash her. They pronouns and shit like that. That crazy ass shit, man. What the fuck? The hell? It's either you a man or a woman, not no she says her. What the hell's going on? These pronoun names, man.
It's
Non
not
bi
he slash her.
non
They, them, and all these other things. Yeah.
non-binary. I'm non-binary and all that type of bullshit. This is it's all types. It's just like what they teaching them. Not only that, critical race theory, um, LGBTQ. Critical race theory is not what you think it is. Critical
Mhm.
race theory is not what people think it is.
There's some
It's
teachers that are
changing.
already exposed. There's some
Right.
teachers
It's
already
all.
exposed
It,
critical race theory, and they said it's a bunch of bullshit that's really
yeah.
pushing
Yeah.
the
It's a bunch
kids and
of
everything in
bullshit.
another direction. It's got
Right.
a narrative
So.
inside it. It's a narrative inside that narrative that's
Right.
pushing an agenda. That's pushing an agenda.
Right. I'm like, and this is why everybody's sick and tired of like everybody want to do something about this. This is why they vote. That's why the people demand our vote the way our voting. Like Republican Big J says it's not true, but the thing is, it is true. I've seen a big movement going on. There's a big, huge movement going on with the black man going voting for red. I think Chicago, my home city, is going to do the same thing because they second title of Bill Juice. It's about to be a purge next year. It's about to go down next year. It's about to be 2023. It's about to go down. Them niggas about to go wild. You can't. They can't do nothing. You can't. You gotta shoot the guy. If somebody come breaking your house and you gotta remove the guy. You gotta. It's in your own hands to get rid of that. What to do with that person? It's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of stuff
Shit.
going on.
Only I heard this.
They got
Somebody
they
breaking
got a
your
3 day
house.
head start. If they on the run, they got a 3 day head start. It's a whole bunch of bullshit going on. If you
Yeah,
got
but see,
murdered,
I heard this. If somebody break in, this is what I heard out here in California. If somebody break in your house and they got a knife or something in their hand as a weapon, and you feel that you got reasonable doubt of, there's no reason of a doubt of danger. I mean, there's no doubt that you're in danger. It's clear and present. You can use what deadly force necessary to protect yourself. Now, that's how the law is here in Los Angeles, but they got to be inside your house though.
yeah,
And chances are people gonna have knives in their hands by the time they hit the floor. Whatever they get hit with, they're gonna have knives and all kind of other shit in their hands. And hey, as far as the police gonna be
but child,
concerned,
not that's the at California. Now, in Chicago, they saying if you commit homicide, you could get away with that. They could just not only uh you could just not even go to jail. You just gotta show up to court if you did commit homicide. Now that's what they saying now in the new laws of Chicago, Illinois.
well, if California, the way it's set up is the DA looks at it and says, well, it's justified. Just like they coming in the stores, these cats getting peeled off when they coming in trying to rob the stores. Oh, that's justified. They
Yeah,
justifying that. You inside your place and somebody come in with a weapon, whatever, you blast them. It's justified.
You don't do no
They're
jail
ruling that. They're
time,
ruling that.
Sohan?
Huh?
You don't do no jail time?
No, not if it's justified.
Mm.
I think it's
California, you know what?
I think Chicago going out. The Chicago going out. See, I'm about to switch my laptop. I just fixed my laptop by the way, so uh it's not slow no more. So when I come up in here, I'm gonna show you the new laws melody that we're gonna have to face. I had to face over here. I ain't ready for that yet. So
No,
yeah,
no, it's too much.
But
Way
the
too
way they
much.
got this going, the police have, here in Los Angeles, the chief said they were telling people not to come, but they still came for the Super Bowl because he said we can't protect you. They straight told the people they can't protect you. We can't protect you. And you
Mhm.
know, PNB got taken out, but we got a lot of other situations like that happen out here. It's just that
Yeah,
now that you got more rappers and more notables that's getting hit. You know, people thought coming to LA was like, hey, this LA got, Chicago got his thing, New York got his thing, Atlanta got his thing, LA, Houston got his thing, LA definitely got his thing too.
yeah.
It's got his thing too.
speaking of which, what you think about that incident with PNB Rock melody?
I thought it was crazy. I thought it was terrible because a lot of young rappers are getting killed for no reason at all.
I,
And from what I understand, it's because he didn't check in or something.
No, you. I wish you would have did that in interview with Childish. That happened in L.A. Where Childish was at. We had an interview with Childish. One of my homeboys
Oh
had an
yeah?
interview with Childish. So yeah.
And
So no,
how did that go? What it
what it was pretty good. It was a pretty good interview with Childish. It was
It
so
was
Chad?
dealing with the gang. It deals with the gang territories, the culture, what's going on, how to move around here, and all that kind of stuff.
Right,
no
because
his
you what do you mean by when they say that he didn't check in though, what do they
no
mean by checking in?
that
What do
that
they mean
wasn't
by
that
that?
that wasn't
But
it. That
see, he
wasn't it.
was already he
That,
moved there. He moved there. But see, the whole thing is he came from another set, came there. There's a lot more to this than what's being told.
that wasn't it,
Mhm.
There's
man.
more
That
to this.
was
There's more to this than what's being told. Trust me, I'm telling you. There's more to this than what's being told.
right.
They
That
are
wasn't it.
they saying they're trying to blame it on the girlfriend, but there's something else going on there. It just
No,
ain't been
no,
told.
but Chaha, this the first, this another incident that they posted that she posted their location. It was a time that he did almost get robbed and he got away because his girlfriend posted his location and he's like, that's why he confiscated her phone. He said, do not post our location like that no more because guess what? A lot of guys are looking for me, whatever. And then she didn't went back on for 6 months on social media because she was like she came back because her boyfriend changed her password and everything, confiscated her phone. So the second time they post, so she posted again while they was eating that. which is a dumb, stupid fucking move.
But the guy, the
But
guy was
then,
already, they were already sitting out there, dude. They was already sitting
yeah, it
out
was
there.
too late. By the time it was doing
They
that,
was already
she
sitting out
did
there. It
that. It
didn't
was
make no
too late.
difference. It didn't make no difference because they were already sitting out there. They got it on camera. The car was sitting there when they got up in there. Car was already sitting there. They already knew where he was going. That he was gonna be
But
there.
guess what? But guess what though? But guess what though? If that's the case, child, the guy was sitting there, he wouldn't have known. I don't think the guy would have known that who that person was because you were like, okay. He said, "Is that what?" You'd be like, "Is that who I think it is?" No, I wouldn't. No. But when she posted that location, it was like, okay, that is him. I was like, damn it. So he confirmed it because you thought you get like a second. What's it called? You second guess yourself. You think it's a celebrity, but it's not. It's not who you think it is.
Hmm.
That's what I was saying. Old girl fucked up, man. She fucking posted that shit up, man. Because
Yeah.
she told him. He told her do not post our location where you at. She still
I think
constantly.
it was a little more than that, though. I think it was beyond her posting the location.
I don't know. If you rich like that, if you have a certain status about you, I think you should. I think you should not because what's her name? What's his name? Got killed that way. I think it was Pop Smoke got killed that way. Got killed that
Hmm.
way. His
Yeah,
little
That
he
brother.
they
got
were there
killed.
was a home. That was his was a home invasion. His was a home invasion up in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, that was.
And
Whew.
that youngster, they put the youngster to do that because of how the youngster would be charged. They put a youngster to that. When they put youngsters to that, so that the OGs will put the youngsters to do shit. So that immediately they tell that youngster to keep their mouth shut, and that's how they'll do that shit. But a lot of times, motherfuckers run their mouth, so you know how that goes.
Yeah, definitely.
But he turned around, sold that Rolex for $2,000, and then he had to split it with the other guys that was with him, so or whoever was calling the shots. So they only, I think it was 3 or 4 of them. He had to split it 3, 4 ways. So
Yeah.
you don't get much out of that. That's how that shit be going.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on around the world, man. It's like the whole. I don't know. It's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Oh, but guys, it's past the 3 hour mark, so I'm gonna do the final thoughts, and I'm gonna be heading to sleep. So let's
All
start with
right. Yeah.
J-Lock first. Go ahead,
Oh,
J-Lock.
okay. All right. My final thoughts are welcome back, Melody. It's been a whole bunch of 9 months. We missed you. So
Um,
hopefully you do this every weekend, if like every Saturday or Sunday if you do, when you get a chance. And hopefully we see you on movie night because we was talking about where you been at, where you going to. So Beth be up there too.
oh yeah,
So
that is funny.
yeah, so that's all I'll say. So welcome back and miss you. Hopefully
Thank
you do this
you.
more often.
I'll try
So
to do it at least twice a week. Definitely Tuesday with Ruby
uh-huh.
and another day. So 2 days a
Okay.
week.
All
And
right.
movie night. I'll see you on movie night.
All right. Okay, we'll see.
Promise. Well, good night.
Good night.
And then Chow Hound, final thoughts.
Glad you back, Melody.
Thank you.
Glad you back. This is gonna be the next year and a half, 2 years is gonna be a very interesting time for all of us because they're trying to push a single form of currency, which is
What?
digital, supposedly. They're talking about making some kind of digital currency that's tied into your social media, however that BS is, like what they did in the television show, The Mirrors, something
Mhm.
like that, social ranking and all. But the problem with something like that is they'll they can control your money.
Right.
But on our subject originally, well, at least what I started in talking about the brothers leaving on the voting range and then as well as the passport, if something doesn't give, and it's not just the brothers doing, the white boys are doing it too. If
Right.
something doesn't give, the women here in America, they're not going to be with anybody but themselves. Because the more and more I'm seeing this, I'm seeing all kind of cats go to the Philippines, going to Dominican Republic, going down to Brazil, Barranquilla, Panama. I mean, I've been in contact with women in Ukraine, France, Spain, Brazil, Panama, Dominican Republic, and I'm like, wow. And they seem to be very fit, feminine, and they state that they willing to be submissive to the man. Had a number of them say that. So they are paying attention to what's going on here in the United States. It's like they're reaching out and say, hey, if your women don't want to treat you right, we will. I'm having long conversations with some of these women. I'm like, damn, are you all paying attention to what's going on here in America? And some of them would say, yes, we are. We hear about it. And we can't see how the women there could let such prizes, and they say it like this, such prizes get away.
Right.
So I was like, man, and I was diehard for the sisters. I ain't gonna lie, I've been diehard for the sisters.
Yeah,
But it's just the last relationship I had was so much stress. That's why I went on this sabbatical, went monk mode ever since June 2012. No sex, no relationship.
Hmm.
Still haven't been there yet. Even though there's a couple of people is enticing me, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be cool.
Right. Well, try to hold out till you find the right one. No
Oh,
bucking.
I am. Trust me, I am.
No,
Trust me.
no bucking these. No bucking these ratchet
No,
chicks.
I'm not. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. I done got used to it now. I'm happy because I get to spend my money on me.
Yeah, exactly.
What I want, and I don't have no stress. Even though it'll be nice to go out on a date every once in a while, but it's okay. It's not. It's
Yeah,
almost like I'm not missing anything.
not
And I built my house. I built my house around me. It's like I go out to the business and deal with the buildings every day, but I got movies, books, games, videos, man, my trains. I got a whole lot of stuff to keep me busy. My motorcycles, my cars, and just I got stuff to keep me busy. So I can stay at home or just get in the car or a bike and ride up the coast and come back. And I'll enjoy that because that's some peace time to hit the road. That's some real good peace time when you're on the road. Well, anyway, I'm going to sign off here.
Well, thanks for coming and thanks again for that super chat. I
Oh,
miss
no
you and I
problem.
appreciate it for real.
Appreciate you too.
All right,
Pre-
well, I'll see you.
appreciate that old man GC.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's eating right now, he said. GC, you there?
Okay.
Nah, he's still
He's
eating.
still eating.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right, thank you. Good night.
Night.
Night. You there, GC? Or you sleep? I mean, are you eating? Yeah, I guess he's still eating. All right, guys, thanks for coming. That's the end of the show. I will see you guys Tuesday with Ruby. We'll be going live at 6 o'clock, and it should be a good show. But thanks again for coming. Peace.